He arrived at the entrance of the shop. When Chen Xiang saw Fan Yakan taking care of the herbs, he could not help but laugh because Fan Yakan's pill furnace was actually a transparent pill furnace. Obviously, he had obtained some inspiration from magic method furnace. He arrived at the entrance of the shop. When Chen Xiang saw Fan Yakan taking care of the herbs, he could not help but laugh because Fan Yakan's pill furnace was actually a transparent pill furnace. Obviously, he had obtained some inspiration from magic method furnace. But Chen Xiang knew this kind of transparent and anti-burning ingredients were very rare. If not, many alchemists would have one of these pill furnaces. This way, they could let people or their own disciples see the changes in the furnace better and learn from it. The pellet Fan Yakan refined was a 9-quenching body dan. After the ingredients were placed into the furnace, it immediately released a dazzling gold light, attracting many people's attention, and very quickly, the 5 storefronts' entrance became bustling. There were many people who did not attend the pill refining compet. 1. Tie-in, so they did not mention anything about Chen Xiang using magic method furnaces to concoct pills, but now that they saw it, they were all dumbstruck. They were all shocked, and some even clapped and applauded. Chen Xiang shook his head and laughed. He realized that Fan Yakan's business knowledge was not bad. He looked inside the shop, and saw many people entering, and the shop's name was called Shi-Yi Pavilion, which was actually named after Lin Shi. Through the shop, he could see a door that led to the back. From that door, he could see that there were many herbs growing inside. It's only been a few months, but this guy has already fallen in love with the Chaotic Mountains woman. He really is a love expert. Chen Xiang laughed in his heart. He remembered that Lin Shi was a woman with very high standard. Chen Xiang had to admit that Fan Yakan's talent in alchemy was very high. Now that he had a good pill furnace, refining the 9-quenching body dan was very easy. What made many men jealous was, when he refined till they sweat profusely, Lin Shi-Yi, that delicate beauty, would help him wipe his sweat with a gentle and moving expression. Fan Yakan's current pill furnace looked like a transparent crystal pill furnace, and the material of the pill furnace also had a special type of strengthening light, which caused the light produced to be even more beautiful and resplendent. It was also the first time that Chen Xiang had seen someone else concoct pills with his own eyes, so he patiently admired the pill, waiting for Fan Yakan to finish refining. It's only one pill, this fellow probably isn't familiar with this cauldron. Chen Xiang waited for more than 2 hours, and finally, he waited for Fan Yakan to finish. Although there was only one pill, this pill was still valuable, and it was of a high quality. In Sacred Dan Realm, even though there were heaven-level pills, they were still too expensive. There were many ground-level pills, their prices were low, and they were suitable for many people. Everyone also saw, I can refine ground-level pills. When I have time in the future, I will refine a mid-grade ground-level pills for everyone to see. I will also be in charge of this shop from now on, and will be the alchemist of this place. Fan Yakan laughed. The business of the pill shop had become extremely hot. Chen Xiang looked at Fan Yakan and used his consciousness to send a sound transmission to him. Brother Fan, good move. Just as Fan Yakan was about to put away the pill furnace and leave, he heard Chen Xiang's voice echo in his mind. His body trembled slightly, and when he turned his head to look, he saw a middle-aged man. Hee, let's chat inside. Fan Yakan was extremely shocked. He thought that Chen Xiang would hide himself, but he actually ran all the way to the 18th floor. Chen Xiang followed Fan Yakan to a hall, and Lin Shi followed. Chen Xiang, Lin Shi said with a frown. Her charming face was full of surprise, and then she hastily closed the door to the hall. Chen Xiang laughed. I never thought that Miss Lin and Brother Fan would actually fall in love. I never expected that. Chen Xiang, do you want to die? You actually came here. Don't you know that it is time for all sorts of experts to gather here? Fan Yakan said. Chen Xiang laughed. Have you seen when my life is on the line? Lin Shi snorted. Aren't you afraid that I'll tell Chaotic Mountain? You have 4 Chaos Fire in your hands. Many old fellows in Chaotic Mountain are always thinking about them. If you're afraid, then I'm not coming. Is this shop owned by the Chaotic Mountain? Chen Xiang asked with a smile. No, it was my parents who secretly supported me. After that, Lin Shi glanced at Fan Yakan, her charming face turning slightly red. Then he came to help. Chen Xiang nodded his head and said, I suggest that you guys build a tall tower. After that, Brother Fan should refine pills in the tower from time to time, and use that cauldron. Fan Yakan's eyes lit up. Not bad. If there's anything you need my help with, just say it. If there's nothing else, you won't come looking for me. Lin Shi glared at Chen Xiang. Don't tell me you're here to take care of those 3 Chaos Fires? Those are the last 3 holy tokens of our Chaotic Mountain. Chen Xiang curled his lips and said, Do you think it's possible for me to obtain it? I am here to look for Yan Xilan. Do you know any way to contact her? Fan Yakan and Lin Shi looked at each other. Last time, during the compet, 1. Tian Yan Xilan kissed Chen Xiang. From this, they could tell that Chen Xiang and Yan Xilan's relations, Hi+P, was not ordinary. What is your relations, Hi+P, with her? Lin Shi asked hastily. Yanyao followed her for cultivation, and because I've done some big business with her, her relations, Hi+P, with me is not too bad. Chen Xiang chuckled. I even slept on her bed before. She is an important figure of the sacred dance school, so she will definitely come to this meeting that the Chaotic Mountain is hosting. It would be best if you go to the Violet Orchid Valley next to the sacred dance school to look for her, and if she does not go into closed-door cultivation, you can find her there. All right, Fan Yakan said. After Chen Xiang heard this, he said, Thank you. Then, he turned around and quickly left. Hey, don't you dare partic. 1P8 in the convention hosted by the Chaotic Mountain. It was a trap set up for you. Chen Xiang had already jumped over a wall, but he heard Lin Shi's warning. After leaving this shop, Chen Xiang walked around the street a few times, then entered a relatively low CLASS and also a very large inn. The Sacred Dance School was at the east side of the Heaven Sacred City, so Chen Xiang was walking towards the east gate. When he arrived at the entrance, he suddenly saw a notice posted. It said that there was something related to the compet. 1 Tian. The Chaos Fire contains divine power and will be used to communicate with the GODS at the start of the conference. When that time comes, the Chaos Fire will be placed in the middle of the plaza and used to summon the GODS. No one can get close to them. Seeing this, Chen Xiang finally understood why Lin Shi said that it was a trap. Chen Xiang now had 4 Chaos Fire. With this much, he would definitely think of a way to get the other 3 pieces. Therefore, once he had the chance, he would definitely make his move. Chen Xiang now had 4 Chaos Fire. With this much, he would definitely think of a way to get the other 3 pieces. Therefore, once he had the chance, he would definitely make his move. Everyone could see that this was a trap set up for Chen Xiang, because Chaotic Mountain knew that it would be very difficult to capture Chen Xiang. After exiting the city, Su Meiyao said, Do you want to go? You have to think carefully. This is not a joke. When the time comes, you will be surrounded by those immortals. If Junior Sister and I recover our peak strength, we might be able to snatch it away. Bai Yu said. Chen Xiang never thought that the 2 girls would be so strong. The Sacred Dan realm had such abundant resources for pills, so the strong warriors would definitely be even stronger than them. However, Bai Yu confidently said that they could get their hands on the pills. He felt that if he wanted to know their ident, 1 ties, he could only go to the Heaven realm and inquire about them. Back then, I had done a lot of things like this with Senior, so we made enemies everywhere. Those enemies still hate us even now. Su Meiyao laughed. I'll go take a look when the time comes. Chen Xiang sprinted all the way, and in just half a day's time, He saw the sacred dance school, who was built on top of a huge mountain. From the waist of the mountain to the top of the mountain, it was densely packed with buildings. On the other side of the mountain, there was a mountain in full bloom with purple flowers. That was Chun Xiang's destination, the Zilong Mountain Valley. Yan Xilan was extremely important to the sacred dance school, and that was not only because she looked as if she was a bane to the common people. At the same time, it was also because of her strength. Yan Xilan has mastered the divine way. If she continues her cultivation, she might become the strongest person in the sacred Dan realm. In the heaven realm, the strongest people all cultivate the divine way, which is to say we are of the dragon race. Long Shui said. Yan Xilan had stayed in the sacred dance school for a long time. In order to make things easier for her, she had her own territory. Just as Chun Xiang stepped into the canyon, he heard a roar, and saw a giant wolf that was engulfed in flames and a giant snow-white tiger suddenly ing out of the canyon. This scared Chun Xiang one time, and the aura it exuded was even stronger than the dragon he encountered in the super-old sacred land. He had encountered this kind of powerful immortal beast twice in the immortal poisoning devil forest. One of them was the one that took away the purple dragon flower, while the other was the one that swallowed the devil-suppressing heavenly venerable's legacy. When the two gigantic beasts arrived in front of Chun Xiang, their bodies shone with a light as they transformed into human beings. They were actually two tall and curvaceous women with abundant bodies, beautiful enough to look like the moon and flowers, and one of them wore a red robe. "Who are you?" "This place is where the Zilong immortal fairy lives, and outsiders are not allowed to enter, especially men." Although she said it like that, her voice was very gentle and pleasant to listen to, not fierce at all. She gave off a very nice and warm feeling, similar to Yan Xilan's tone. "Friend, if there's anything important to you, we can help you pass on to the Zilong immortal fairy. Without her permission, no one is allowed to enter the Zilong mountain valley." The woman in red also said gently. This made Chun Xiang find it difficult to associate them with the two ferocious immortal beasts he just met. This was also the first time Chun Xiang had seen these kind of immortal beasts in human form, and they were exceptionally beautiful. "So that's how it is. Then I'll have to trouble you two older sisters to help me tell him that an old friend of mine, who is a fugitive, is looking for her to buy some medicinal pellets." Chun Xiang laughed. He was an old man with a long beard. Although the two girls had told them about the bounty slip before, they did not recognize Chun Xiang. However, the woman who had transformed into a white tiger always felt that Chun Xiang had a very amiable feeling, but at the same time, made her feel a little afraid. This was the first time she had ever experienced such a contradictory feeling, so she suspected that Chun Xiang was also a white tiger. "Yunju, you are faster than me," the white-dressed woman said in a low voice. "Yes, sister." After the girl called Yunju left, the lady in white asked softly, "Senior, are you also from my white tiger race?" "Junior Bai Xing." Saying that, Bai Xing bowed to Chun Xiang, causing his heart to beat faster, but he remained calm. "Bai Xing, what a familiar name," Su Meiyao immediately said. Back then, Heaven Realm descended upon a very large white star. In order to prevent a continent from being destroyed, many of the old fellows in the Heaven Realm made their move, and succeeded in stopping it in the end. However, the white star suddenly exploded, and those old fellows were all heavily injured, but there was a small white tiger inside the white star. Bai Yu said, "That nameless expert has some connections with our family. Because this white tiger called Bai Xing is considered a star picker, no one would dare to accept it, and no one would dare to provoke it." Chun Xiang did not expect this beautiful and tender lady in front of him to have such a background. She had even injured so many old men in Heaven Realm. Chun Xiang coughed dryly, and pretended to be an expert. "I never thought that it would be the little girl Bai Xing who seriously injured a bunch of old guys from Heaven Realm, he. Bai Xing was shocked. He frowned slightly as he said with a sorrowful look on his face, I didn't expect that there would still be people who know my past after coming here. Chen Xiang saw that he had touched the heart of the beauty and anxiously said, Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Although I am not the white tiger race, but I have a duty to protect white tiger race, but this does not include those white tigers who commit many evil deeds. In that case, Senior, where did you come from? Why do I feel that you have the aura of our white tiger race? Bai Xing asked doubtfully. Both of Qin Xiang's hands flashed with a white light, revealing a pair of white gloves. Seeing this, Bai Xing was immediately frightened and became dumbstruck. This! Bai Xing was shocked speechless. As long as it was a white tiger, everyone would recognize this slaughter God's hand. Confidential, confidential. Qin Xiang snickered. Bai Xing nodded. She had been together with Yan Xilan for a long time and had told him about many people coming to find Yan Xilan. However, to her, Qin Xiang was the strongest one. Yan Xilan and Yun Zhu flew over and landed in front of Qin Xiang. Seeing Qin Xiang and Bai Xing laughing and talking, Yan Xilan scolded them. Don't give my sister any soup. Not at all. Qin Xiang laughed, while Yan Xilan shook her head and laughed. She pulled his hand and gently leaped. In the blink of an eye, they had arrived in a beautiful valley that was surrounded by purple flowers. Qin Xiang looked around and laughed. This is really a good place, I should be safe hiding here. Chapter 661, Bai Xing's Secret. Chapter 661, Bai Xing's Secret. Qin Xiang sat on a stone bench in the valley and ate a kind of purple honey. Yan Xilan took off a purple robe, and with a face full of hidden bitterness, It's best if you just came to buy medicinal pellets from me. This was of course the biggest reason for Qin Xiang to come here. He smiled and said, I'm here to look for my fiancée. Is Yanyao here? Of course she's here, but she's cultivating in seclusion, so she's preparing to cross Nirvana tribulation. When are you going to return to Vatican? Yan Xilan asked. Qin Xiang was slightly stunned. He remembered that he didn't tell Yan Xilan that he came from the Vatican. I don't think I've told you where I came from, right? Qin Xiang said. No, but I can guess that we, the upper echelons of the forces, all know that Fan Yakan has gone to the mortal realm, and then, that your relations, Hi+P with him was very good. Originally, I was only guessing, but when Yenyao said that you would leave, and that you and your married couple were fake, I was sure. Yan Xilan smiled sweetly. Don't worry, that's only my guess. Because you urgently need a large batch of ground-level pills, I think there should be very little in mortal realm. Qin Xiang stuck out his tongue. That's right, right now I can only concoct low-grade ground-level pills, so I want high or middle-grade ground-level. I will be returning very soon. Yan Xilan smiled slightly. Don't you think that Yan Yao didn't tell me that? When I told her, I wasn't afraid she would tell, and I believed her. Qin Xiang shrugged. Xilan, how many high-ranked ground-level pills do you have now? Yan Xilan chuckled, and looked at Qin Xiang with a teasing and coquettish gaze, then said leisurely, I've been worried about you these past few days, and yet you're in such a hurry to talk about this upon meeting me, you really don't understand. You can return to the mortal realm, that's why you're not afraid of the chaotic mountain, right? Qin Xiang laughed. Sister Xilan is really worried about me, Oh, body in the mortal realm, it makes me happy. No matter what, we are now friends. You said that I'm no longer alone, so of course I care about you. Yan Xilan rolled his eyes at Qin Xiang and snorted. Qin Xiang sighed. Xilan, it might be a long time until I return to the Holy Pill realm. So when you left, you were going to go all out? Yan Xilan asked softly, her voice was filled with worry. Qin Xiang nodded his head. I want those 3 Chaos Fire token, then I'll leave the Holy Pill realm. I can help you, make you return to the mortal realm without leaving a single regret, and help you SNATCH that Chaos Fire token no matter what. Yan Xilan's eyes flashed with autumn waves as he looked at Qin Xiang affectionately, making him feel as if he was suddenly struck by lightning. Shin Xiang's heart suddenly jumped. Don't look at Yan Xilan's pitiful and beautiful eyes that could melt him. He shook his head and said, No need, Sister Xilan, you can use a woman's item. 1. Tai, with the status you have today, I cannot let your years of hard work go to waste. Yan Xilan scoffed. Don't tell me you want to go there yourself? If you go, you might not be able to come back, but I can. Long Shui suddenly said, I have a way to get help from the beautiful white tiger. What method? Shen Xiang asked anxiously. That white tiger beauty was born from the stars. That's another way of nurturing the descendants of the white tiger's special species. I just remembered it. Long Shui said, Those are white tiger races who have been wandering in the vast starry sky all year round. However, their cultivation method is very special, they just swallow and kill stars. And then? Shen Xiang asked. Therefore, they have a special kind of power. It's able to sense the stars and absorb their power. It's also able to summon a few stars to descend onto the ground for them to cultivate. Long Shui paused for a moment before continuing. It's just that the white tiger I met outside earlier didn't seem to cultivate using this method, but she definitely understood how to make her summon a falling star and catch those strong warriors unprepared. Then, I'll join hands with you and SN. ATC. H that chaos fire token away. Shin Xiang said, Sister Xilan, let Bai Xing help me, she has a way. Yan Xilan shook her head. No, although Bai Xing is very strong, I cannot let her be in danger. She is also my friend, I can help you. Bai Xing and Yunzhu have been together with me for many years. They are like sisters, both of them have previous experiences of being abandoned and alienated by others. I don't want them to run away. Shin Xiang said, No need for her to appear there. I just need her to help me with a little thing. Sister Xilan, since you trust those two so much, call them over. We can discuss this together and don't worry, I will definitely not let your sisters get hurt, I will personally do it then. Trust me. Yan Xilan saw Shin Xiang's resolute and deep eyes, nodded and then floated away. Very quickly, Yunzhu and Bai Xing arrived. Bai Xing greet Senior. Bai Xing bowed towards Shin Xiang, causing Yan Xilan to let out a sweet snort as he pinched Shin Xiang. I'm not some senior. Shin Xiang anxiously said, Sister Xilan, how did she come to think of it? Yunzhu and Bai Xing both treated Shin Xiang as an expert, because there were very few men who could enter Xilan Valley. Now that they saw Yan Xilan pinching Shin Xiang like this, they could tell that the relations Hi+P between Yan Xilan and Shin Xiang wasn't ordinary. It's just that they felt that Yan Xilan was this old man. Shin Xiang anxiously took off his old clothes, revealing his handsome and angular face. Upon seeing his face, both Yunzhu and Bai Xing were stunned. Shin Xiang! Bai Xing shouted, his face slightly bulging, and thinking back to how she had called Shin Xiang Senior before, he was embarrassed. Said and angry at the same time. I'm sorry. Shin Xiang immediately apologized. I'm not angry with you, I'm furious with myself. What's more, how could I dare to be angry with you? Bai Xing bit her lips lightly, because Shin Xiang was severely injured, and that was refined from the body of a white tiger divine beast. Yunzhu and Yan Xilan were a little shocked, because they could see that Bai Xing truly did not dare to be angry with Shin Xiang. Yan Xilan pinched the flesh on Shin Xiang's arm without letting it go. I already said, you're not allowed to soup my sisters. Sis, it's none of her business. Bai Xing hastily stopped him, his beautiful face full of self-blame as he looked at Shin Xiang. Shin Xiang quickly explained, Sister Xilan, I really don't have any, she is afraid of me because of this. Shin Xiang anxiously revealed his deicide hand. Upon seeing the pair of tiger gloves, Yan Xilan and Yunzhu immediately understood, and were stunned. This was because Bai Xing often told them about the white tiger race, and they were naturally aware of this white tiger divine weapon, especially Yan Xilan. She never expected that Qin Xiang would actually have such a divine weapon, an existence that Serpa, as said, wholly ranked. When Yun Zhu and Bai Xing saw that Yen Xilan was together with the person who placed the bounty on Chaotic Mountain, they could not help but panic in their hearts. They did not want Yen Xilan to offend such a powerful force like Chaotic Mountain. Yun Zhu and Bai Xing understood Yen Xilan very well. Of course, they had absolute trust in Yen Xilan. Of course, they had been together with him for a very long time, and for the sake of the three of them having a good environment to cultivate in, Yen Xilan was willing to help them with the protection of the sacred dance school. Yun Zhu and Bai Xing understood Yen Xilan very well. Of course, they had absolute trust in Yen Xilan. Of course, they had been together with him for a very long time, and for the sake of the three of them having a good environment to cultivate in, Yen Xilan was willing to help them with the protection of the sacred dance school. They were women, and there were even two immortal beasts among them, both objects that many powerful immortals wished to conquer. It was not easy for them to have a safe environment right now, so they naturally did not want to be destroyed like this. After Yen Xilan told Yun Zhu and Bai Xing that he wanted to SNATCH the three Chaos Fire, the two girls were so scared that their faces turned pale. They were immortal beasts, and were both very strong, so if they went together with Yen Xilan, they might be able to win. Sisters, I won't let you take the risk to help me steal something. When Chen Xiang saw the two girls' expressions, he said anxiously, I just need Big Sister Bai Xing to help me out with a little favor. When the time comes I will do it myself. Yen Xilan said seriously, You must promise me you definitely won't let Bai Xing into a dangerous situation, if not I will definitely not let you go at that time. Yen Xilan nodded towards Yun Zhu and Bai Xing, and Yun Zhu also sat down. Yen Xilan was their big sister. The three girls had once supported each other with their lives, their relations. I+P towards each other was extremely good, and they could tell that Yen Xilan had some sort of kindness towards Chen Xiang, so they would definitely help Yen Xilan as well. Chen Xiang laughed. Sister Bai Xing, do they know about your situation? Bai Xing nodded his head, which surprised Yen Xilan and Yun Zhu. Bai Xing's background was the most mysterious, but Chen Xiang knew about it. Chen Xiang anxiously replied, It's not her that told me, it's just that I happened to read a book that described the matters when Big Sister Bai Xing was born. But Big Sister Bai Xing, you probably only know that you came out from a giant star and don't know why you came out of it, right? Bai Xing sighed lightly. I searched for a lot of information in Heaven Realm. After I came to Sacred Dan Realm, Big Sis also helped me search for it, but I didn't know about this matter. Qin Xiang said, Of course, you are the most mysterious and special clan in the White Tiger race, called the Starry Tiger Tribe. You cultivate by absorbing the power of the stars, and you can also roam the starry sky. Yun Zhu and Bai Xing now somewhat understood why Qin Xiang had such a good relations. I+P with him. Over the years, they had met many powerful experts with vast knowledge, but no one knew about these things. Cough cough, it was the boss of White Tiger race who told me this. Qin Xiang laughed and continued. You probably have never tried to absorb the power of the stars before, right? Not only can you become stronger by absorbing the power of the stars, you can also use the special ability in your body to summon out the stars. The three girls were not stupid. They now understood why Qin Xiang wanted Bai Xing to help him. Back then, when Bai Xing descended onto a continent in Heaven Realm, it was only with the help of many experts that he was able to stop the star. You only need to stay here to do it. Other than us, no one else will know that you did it. When you summon the stars, no one else will be able to sense it. Don't worry. Qin Xiang said. This was an extremely powerful force. There were countless stars in the vast starry sky, and things like the moon and sun all belonged to the stars. If it could be summoned down, then it would lead to the destruction of an entire world. Both Yen Xilan and Yun Zhu's faces were filled with shock, and there was even a hint of excitement. This was because their sisters possessed such a terrifying ability that would allow them to better survive in this world where the strong preyed on the weak. What am I going to do? I don't know if I have that ability, and I haven't noticed it in years. Bai Xing tensed up and asked softly. Long Shui had already told Chen Xiang how to awaken his abilities. This was extremely simple. This is because you didn't perform the awakening ceremony. After you awaken, you will receive the inherited memories. This is something that many high-level beasts have. When that time comes, you will know how to cultivate your star power and use your innate ability. Chen Xiang laughed. Don't be nervous, this is a good thing for Sister Bai Xing. She already knew that Chen Xiang wasn't an ordinary fellow, otherwise, she wouldn't have obtained their White Tiger race's divine weapon. Now that she knew Chen Xiang's ident. 1. Tai, she was even more certain that within this sacred Dan realm, there had never been anything that would cause Chaotic Mountain to suffer a big loss. Chen Xiang had to admit that in order to guard against White Tiger race, Imperial Dragon race had done a lot of research and had a very good understanding of him. He even knew about this awakening ceremony. Back then, when Chen Xiang fought with the White Tiger, it was only because Long Shui told him about the White Tiger's weakness that he was able to win. Long Shui knew all of this, but he needed the special power of the White Tiger race. This point was not difficult for Chen Xiang as he had the White Tiger divine weapon, so he could make Bai Xing set up the array himself. Until nighttime when Chen Xiang finished setting up the awakening array. Sister Bai Xing, just sit cross-legged in the middle, then close your eyes and let yourself sleep. This kind of ceremony should have been done when you were very young, so you wouldn't feel any pain. Chen Xiang wiped his sweat and heaved a sigh of relief. This awakening formation was still a little complicated, but thankfully his foundation was not bad. Bai Xing was a little agitated, and immediately sat cross-legged inside the array. After that, she closed her eyes to ease herself up and entered into a deep slumber. The array very quickly emitted a faint golden radiance which enveloped Bai Xing's body. Bai Xing's delicate body slowly floated up, and floated above the array. Starlight shrouded her entire body, and her beautiful pitch-black hair fluttered in the wind. She's absorbing a lot of star power. She might be modifying her body. Chen Xiang revealed a smile. It should be fine by morning, you don't have to worry. What exactly are you doing in the mortal realm? Many of the old people in Sacred Dan realm and the Heaven realm didn't even know about this kind of thing, yet a little kid like you actually knows about it. Yan Xilan heaved a sigh of relief, and smiled at Chen Xiang. Chapter 663 Fire Soul Test. Chapter 663 Fire Soul Test. Yan Xilan didn't have that kind of gentle and polite attitude towards Xin Xiang anymore. This was because she really treated Xin Xiang as a friend, which was why she started to act casual. This is my secret. Xin Xiang smiled mysteriously and continued, let's do the business first. Yan Xilan gave Xin Xiang a storage ring and said, 200 Relive Dan, 305 Elements Profound Dan, 300,000 Profound Energy Body Tempering Pill, and 100,000 Face Preserving Pills. A total of 100 million would be 90 billion, and I'll give you half price of 415 billion. The corner of Xin Xiang's eyes twitched. If it was a dozen or so pills, he would indeed be all right, but when he heard the price, he was shocked. You're too kind, this kind of thing is sold in the Heaven realm, and you still have to flip through it. You know what it means in the mortal realm. Su Meiyao laughed tenderly. Now it all depends on your charm. Can you let this number 1 beauty in Holy Pill realm reduce your charm a little? If I sell it to you at such a low price, I would have to give some to the Sacred Dan School as well. You have helped me out, so this is nothing. Yan Xilan smiled sweetly, but his eyes looked extremely coquettish. If Xin Xiang had enough spars, he would have definitely struck a deal right away, but now he could only plan on lowering the price. Seeing Xin Xiang's expression, Yan Xilan could not help but giggle. How many spar you have? Only 2 billion. Xin Xiang sighed. Give it to me, I'll help you pay for the rest. Consider this my reward for you. Yen Xilan extended her hand and smiled sweetly. Shen Xiang felt that the cultivation technique he gave her were also very precious, so he didn't feel bad about it right now. He knew that this beauty who was able to bring calamity down upon the nation simply didn't care about these spar at all. Yen Xilan looked at Yun Zhu at this time, and then said to Shen Xiang, Bai Xing and I have received your help, obtained many benefits, you are truly a great benefactor. Yun Zhu is also a good sister to me, can you let her have some of your feelings as well? Although Shen Xiang's strength was weak when compared to hers, his entire body was filled with charm and mystery, making her really want to read and interpret this kind of man. At this moment, her face was slightly red. He looked at Shen Xiang with anticipation, and a sweet and gentle smile hung on her face. Although Yun Zhu was a powerful immortal beast and firewolf, the feeling she gave Shen Xiang right now was that of a kind, gentle, and beautiful little sheep. She looked a little simple, and her pair of pure eyes were filled with an innocent light. Seeing Shen Xiang's thoughtful face, Yen Xilan pouted. Do you think that since Yun Zhu didn't help you in any way, you're... Yen Xilan shook Shen Xiang's hand as she pouted her lip. Her eyes were filled with hidden bitterness, and had a strong killing intent towards men, but when she saw the appearance of the number one beauty in Holy Pill Realm, Shen Xiang's heart thumped with surprise. Even Yun Zhu was secretly surprised. This was the first time she had seen her big sister act so coquettishly, and thinking that Yen Xilan was trying to win some benefits for her, Yun Zhu's heart suddenly felt warm. Shen Xiang retracted his hand and laughed forcefully. Sister Xilan, you are different from the first time I saw you. You have a bit of the demeanor of the number one beauty in Holy Pill Realm. You don't have to. You are Xilan, a powerful female immortal. For you, a mere mortal, to request so much from me, a little girl, you have truly troubled me. Yun Zhu's appearance is not inferior to mine. Do you think that she is more pure and naive, and does not know how to approach men? Shen Xiang now understood how deep the relations Hi+P between Yen Xilan and the other two sisters were. I will definitely come back to the Holy Pill Realm in the future. Of course I will curry favor with the three big sisters, and when that time comes, I will also have a solid Hi+ELD behind me. I am only considering whether or not I should give that thing to her. Shen Xiang was never stingy with his connections, and the treasures in his hands and the heaven-defying methods, even immortals would not be able to compare to him. Hearing Shen Xiang's words, Yen Xilan smiled. That kind of coquettish and seductive attitude made Shen Xiang moan in his heart, and he really wanted to jump over to strip this beauty of his clothes. I didn't expect you to have so many treasures. Why are you still considering it? What exactly is it? Yen Xilan asked with a sweet smile on his face. Yun Zhu said in a low voice at this moment, There's still no need. I didn't help you. I can't take something that's very valuable. Deep into the night, Bai Xing was still floating above the awakening formation. He was lying on his back with a calm and peaceful expression, as if he was enjoying something. But at this time, Shen Xiang took out a corpse. It was the corpse of an old man. Outside it was cold ice, and on the ice there was a formation technique. It was a formation technique to prevent the energy from leaking. Corpses? Yen Xilan frowned slightly. Shen Xiang laughed. This corpse could only be a corpse to many people, but I can make it very valuable. My Gu family must have at least a few 100 billion spar. Even if there is one, I might not be able to buy it from you for the price. Yen Xilan had already gotten used to Shen Xiang's remarkable abilities. Back then, Shen Xiang had stolen away the Jade Dragon Flower and killed Guo Huaqing, the powerful elder of the Chaotic Mountain. Then, he stole 2 Chaos Fire token from one of the Chaotic Mountain's experts. What value? Yen Xilan looked carefully at the frozen body, but she could not see anything. Shen Xiang chuckled. I don't know the name of this corpse either. He is a Nirvana realm that wants to kill me. He should have Pa-s, said through 8 tribulations. Furthermore, he is an important elder of the Fire Temple. Hearing the Fire Temple, both Yen Xilan and Yun Zhu's delicate bodies trembled. Shen Xiang never thought that the evil name of the Fire Temple would actually be so famous in Holy Pill Realm. A power that specializes in extracting fire soul from mortal realms' bodies is extremely tyrannical in Heaven Realm, and its overall strength is also very strong. I never thought that you would actually dare to provoke them. Speaking to hear, Yen Xilan realized that what he said was nonsense. Shen Xiang even dared to provoke the chaotic mountain. What else wouldn't he dare not do? This guy's fire soul is still in her body, and I have a way to extract it. I believe the two sisters should know the pain of fusing with the fire soul. I can let Sister Yunju obtain it, but at that time, she will have to endure the pain of fusing with the fire soul. Shen Xiang took a deep breath. So that's why I'm considering whether I should give this thing to her. Sister Yunju cultivates flames. The fire soul is of great benefit to her. When Shen Xiang was in First Profound Realm, he killed several elders of Fire Temple who had fire souls, and all their corpses were kept by him. Since the Fire Temple was able to extract the fire soul from the human body for others to absorb, it was not strange for Shen Xiang to extract the fire soul from the body. What surprised Shen Xiang was that Yun Zhu actually said bravely, "I'm not afraid, it's just that this corpse is more precious to you, you must be an alchemist. I have the fire soul, and it's very strong. The fire soul inside this corpse should be the purple fire spirit, not bad." Shen Xiang faintly smiled at Yun Zhu. Chapter 664, The Fire Temple is in for a ride of misfortune. Chapter 664, The Fire Temple is in for a ride of misfortune. By doing this, on one hand, Shen Xiang could deepen his relations Hi+P with the three sisters. Although they were women, they were powerful, had a position, and were all very beautiful as well. When he came to the Holy Pill Realm again in the future, he would definitely get their care. On the other hand, he also wanted to confirm if he really had the ability to extract the fire soul from the dead and infuse it into the dead. If he succeeded, in the future, when he had the strength, he would hunt down people from the Fire Temple and take out fire soul from their bodies. Then, he would treat them the same way, letting them experience what kind of feeling they had after the fire soul was taken out. Take this and eat it when you're in pain. It should be able to alleviate the pain. Shen Xiang took out a piece of fresh, red, beautiful fruit flesh. This was the fruit flesh of earthly fruit S, and the moment Shen Xiang took it out, Yen Xilan and Yun Zhu could immediately see that it was not ordinary. Yen Xilan was in charge of the sacred dance school's business. Since she was a knowledgeable person, she realized that the grade of the fruit was much better than the immortal fruit she mentioned before. Yun Zhu did not accept it. Although Shen Xiang gave it to her with an indifferent face, she did not dare to accept it because it was too precious. Yen Xilan chuckled and pinched Yun Zhu's pure face. "Elder sister, I spent a lot of effort just now, take it." When she thought about how Yen Xilan had sacrificed his looks and even tried to act spoiled in order to get benefits for her, her heart warmed and she received it with her jade hands. With the phagocytosis combined with the magic power, we should be able to pull out the fire soul, Long Shui said. She had long ago discussed all kinds of methods to extract the fire soul with Su Meiyao and the others. In the end, she felt that this method was the safest and most effective. The phagocytosis could extract all the energy from a person's body, so Shen Xiang had used this to devour the Thunder Soul. However, at that time, the phagocytosis would enter his body, and if he added in the powerful control of the magic power, he would be able to stop the fire soul from entering his body. I'm going to start now. When the time comes, I must focus all my attention. You all must help me protect me. Shen Xiang's expression changed. He became solemn. Also, do not leak out this matter. At that time it might not only be the Fire Temple who wants to deal with me. When used on phagocytosis, if others knew that he had such a terrifying devilish art, he would be in deep trouble. Others either wanted to steal this devilish art or kill those who understood it, lest the day comes when he himself was devoured. Yunzhu and Yan Xilan both nodded. Shen Xiang released an invisible magic power, wrapped it around his palm, and then released his divine sense into this person's body, sensing all the different parts of this person's body. He originally had a powerful Qiankuan fire soul on him, and coupled with his powerful divine sense, he could immediately sense it. Then, he would circulate the phagocytosis and selectively devour those fire souls. Yan Xilan also wanted to see what kind of method Shen Xiang used to extract the fire soul, but she only sensed that Shen Xiang was releasing the magic power, and was unable to see anything else. Shen Xiang's hand was placed on top of the corpse's chest, and a weak purple flame suddenly leaked out from the corpse. Upon seeing it, both Yan Xilan and Yunzhu fiercely stared at it with their beautiful eyes wide open. This was truly a purple fire spirit. In terms of holy pill realm, it was a priceless treasure, especially for old apothecary. It could definitely make a rich alchemist throw their money away in exchange for it. A ball of purple-colored flames slowly condensed into form within Shen Xiang's palm as it violently jumped. It was S.H.I. plus Ning with an extremely dazzling purple light, and under the darkness of the night, it was as if a bright purple star was spewing out light. Yan Xilan and Yunzhu now understood why Shen Xiang had said that he could make this corpse valuable. They looked similar, but what kind of benefits killing a person with a fire soul would have? If this ability was known to some powers, they would probably think of ways to make Shen Xiang work for them. If Fire Temple knew, then Fire Temple would definitely do whatever it took to eliminate Shen Xiang. Thus, they understood why Shen Xiang cautiously allowed them to keep their secret. For Shen Xiang to reveal such an important secret in front of them meant that he absolutely trusted them. This also meant that Shen Xiang treated them as friends who could entrust their lives to each other. Not long after, the purple fire spirit in Shen Xiang's hand became extremely large, like a watermelon, flickering with bursts of intense purple light. Completed, I didn't expect it to be so fast. Shen Xiang sealed the body again, because there was still a lot of energy inside, allowing him to absorb it in the future. Sister Yunzhu, are you ready? Shen Xiang smiled slightly. Yunzhu's eyes flickered with an excited Qiubua. She looked at Shen Xiang with extreme grat. One tooed and nodded. Holding the purple fire spirit, Shen Xiang pressed it into Yunzhu's abdomen. Yunzhu's face instantly revealed a pained look, and her clothes were also instantly burnt away, revealing her snow-white body covered in faint purple flames. Shen Xiang's eyes started to flicker as he watched. Sister Xilan, hurry and bring her to a quiet place. She purposely costed her money to complete the fusion. Shen Xiang anxiously shouted, Sister Yunzhu, hurry up and eat that fruit flesh I gave you. Yan Xilan flew over, embraced Yunzhu tightly and flew in one direction, while Yunzhu endured the pain of eating the earthly fruit. Not long after, Shen Xiang saw a purple light flash. Hi plus ing and appeared at a place in the valley far away. From time to time, he heard weak howls of wolves, and in order to not disturb by Xing and the sacred dance school, Yan Xilan set up a barrier around herself, isolating herself from Yunzhu's howls and purple light. Shen Xiang laughed. It's a success. From now on, those fellows from Fire Temple are my best prey, haha. Great, this group of fellows, relying on their solid foundation in the heaven realm, can do whatever they want in the mortal realm, rob fire soul and high-grade fire attribute medicinal ores everywhere. Su Meiyao said with extreme hatred, You better return to the Vatican and join forces with your junior nephew and the others to annihilate the Fire Temple. Otherwise, you will be stabbed in the back when the Great War between three realms starts. We'll talk about it when the time comes. I won't let the Fire Temple in the mortal Kung Fu realm get away with it. A flash of ruthlessness flashed across Shen Xiang's eyes. It was precisely because Elder Dan was persecuted by Fire Temple that caused him to come here, and he knew that in other worlds, There were many people who had been pulled out of the Fire Soul by Fire Temple and then killed. Yan Xilan flew back and revealed a sincere and grateful smile. Yunju is much stronger than I thought, thank you for giving her such a good gift. There's no need to be so polite, just don't object to me chasing after her. Shin Xiang laughed sinisterly. Sister Yunju's pure temperament and gentle and quiet personality is truly an ideal wife, it's just that she is a immortal beast. Yan Xilan saw that Shin Xiang was all smiles. He lightly bit his lips, stomped his foot, and said, "You imp, what else do you want?" Shin Xiang looked at Bai Xing, then looked at Yan Xilan, and praised. "If you three sisters go out walking frequently, it's really a disaster. Why don't I take you all in, and take the law of heaven's justice? D-A-M-N-U. Yan Xilan laughed and used the jade to point at Shin Xiang's forehead. After Chen Xiang arrived at Purple Flower Mountain, Yunju had to admit that Chen Xiang was indeed an extremely powerful person, with a mysterious veil covering his entire body, making people feel as if he had come from an extremely powerful and mysterious world. If Chen Xiang had not personally admitted it, Yan Xilan would not have believed that Chen Xiang had come from the mortal realm. After Chen Xiang arrived at Purple Flower Mountain, Yunju had to admit that Chen Xiang was indeed an extremely powerful person, with a mysterious veil covering his entire body, making people feel as if he had come from an extremely powerful and mysterious world. If Chen Xiang had not personally admitted it, Yan Xilan would not have believed that Chen Xiang had come from the mortal realm. Bai Xing's body was surrounded by pure white light and floated above the awakening formation. Her curved eyelashes trembled and opened her beautiful eyes slightly. She was still floating above the formation, and the stars in the sky seemed to be much brighter than usual. Her pair of peaceful beautiful eyes were looking at the twinkling stars. "For a bane like you, I will take as many as I can get. I'm not afraid of bringing trouble upon myself." Chen Xiang laughed as she walked to Bai Xing's side, but Yan Xilan rolled his eyes at her. Although she knew that Chen Xiang and Du Yenyao were disguised as husband and wife, how could she not see through Du Yenyao's intentions? "Thank you, young Master Shen." Bai Xing smiled gently, looking at Chen Xiang with extreme gratitude. Since she was young, she had always been self-reproachful. She had killed many people, and even killed her benefactors who had taken her in. Now that she knew it was just a coincidence, it had nothing to do with her. She was even more worried about dragging Yan Xilan and Yunju down. "No need to thank me, because I still need you to help me out a lot." Chen Xiang smiled at her. "How are you feeling now? Do you want to return to the vast SPAC in the future?" Bai Xing looked at Yan Xilan and revealed a warm smile. "There's no need. Although that should be my place to go, I already have a home here." This moved Yan Xilan a little. Chen Xiang looked at Yan Xilan and Bai Xing. He had a premonition that this Zilan Mountain Valley's three sisters would definitely make a name for themselves in the future. It was daybreak and Bai Xing was jumping about in the valley, chasing after turflies. From time to time, he would even turn into a very small and cute little white tiger, playing with Chen Xiang, making him wish he could carry her and bring her back to mortal realm. Yunju was still fusing with the purple fire soul. Although a barrier had been set up over there, the purple fire would still appear from time to time. Yunju had eaten the earthly fruit, and it would take a while to digest the energy that the earthly fruit brought her. 3 days had passed, and Yan Xilan had returned from the outside with some news. At that time, the chaos fire will be placed on top of it, and there will be people who will set up some formations in the plaza, saying that it is used to communicate with the gods. But I have asked some friends who know how to set up a formation, and said that the formation is a type of trap used to trap people, and that even the stronger immortals in Sacred Dan realm would find it difficult to come out of the formation after falling into it. Yan Xilan said, "This is undoubtedly a trap set up for you. I don't know what other benefits Chaotic Mountain has given the other powers, to be able to get many large powers to help them. When they were setting up the formation array, I saw other famous formation masters from other forces. Chen Xiang said with a grave expression on his face. Looks like it has always been difficult for Chaotic Mountain to collect all 7 chaos fire. But right now I already have 4, so they will definitely be tempted. Sister Zilan, do you think they might be having a vacation? Chen Xiang carried the cute little white tiger in his arms and gently stroked the soft fur on her body. Yan Xilan shook his head. No, they will definitely use real power to lure you out. They know that you are not an ordinary person. If the fake power is discovered by you, if you do not appear, then they will have wasted their efforts. Chen Xiang rubbed Bai Xing's little head and laughed. Big sis Bai Xing, when the time comes, it's all up to you. With a flash of white light, it turned into a slim and graceful beauty dressed in white clothes floating in the wind. Bai Xing's beautiful eyes flashed with a mischievous light as she smiled sweetly and said, I feel that you're the genuine calamity fiend, but I feel that doing this kind of thing with you is really satisfying. Just thinking about it makes me excited. Bai Xing had always been a mischievous woman, and would often turn into a kitten to play with Chen Xiang. Although she was very old and strong, she loved to play around. Bai Xing, how many stars can you make? This has to be grasped well, so as not to harm the innocent. Yan Xilan asked. He glanced at Chen Xiang and spat. Scoundrel, you have taught my little sister Bai Xing bad, you have to take responsibility. Chen Xiang laughed. How about I marry her, I will discipline her properly. Humph. The 2 girls immediately snorted tenderly. Bai Xing looked at the sky and said, If I were to use all of the power I have, I should be able to summon a fire lightning star that's 100 times bigger than the heaven sacred city. Suddenly, a low wolf howl came from the valley. Chen Xiang and the 2 girls only saw a purple light flash past, and Yunzhu appeared in front of them, and he was covered in qi. This was the first time Chen Xiang had seen a woman's body, but he did not have any evil thoughts about her. This was because that kind of pure beauty was as if she was emitting waves of holy light, and was able to purify any kind of evil energy. Big sister, second sister, from today onwards, I will become a immortal beast with fire soul. Yunzhu was very happy, her face was covered in a pure and sweet smile, but she only realized something when he saw Chen Xiang's straight eyes. With a schwa sound, her face became like a red apple. Yan Xilan's reaction was fast, and he took out a purple robe, and wrapped it around Yunzhu's body. I didn't see anything. Chen Xiang laughed twice, which made Yunzhu's face turn even redder, and made him lower his head, not daring to raise it. Seeing this pure beauty being so bashful, Yan Xilan and Bai Xing could not help but spit. Sister Yunzhu, I didn't think that you could fuse with it in such a short amount of time, and even digest the energy of the fruit's flesh. Chen Xiang changed the topic and said with an astonished look on his face. However, Yunzhu was still extremely shy, and her voice was as loud as a mosquito. It's all thanks to that fruit. My entire body was originally in pain, but after eating it, it would be able to remove all of the pain and increase my speed in fusing with the fire soul. This made Chen Xiang's eyes light up. The earthly fruit being able to have this kind of effect was beyond his expectations. Yunzhu was able to successfully fuse the fire soul. Chen Xiang was relieved. Yunzhu was able to successfully fuse the fire soul. Chen Xiang was relieved. Sisters, I will be going to Heaven's sacred city now. I need to take a good look at the terrain first. At that time, Sister Bai Xing will need you to master the time and summon that star here in time. Chen Xiang cupped his fists and said. Yan Xilan said worriedly, I'll go with you. If something goes wrong, I can still save you. No, when the time comes, I will contact Sister Bai Xing and ask her to display her inherent skill and summon the stars down. Chen Xiang gave Bai Xing a jade token, which was used to send messages. Yan Xilan knew that once Chen Xiang left and they succeeded, they would return to the mortal martial realm. At that time, it would be unknown how long it would be before they could meet again. The three women sent Chen Xiang out of the valley. Please help me greet Yen Yao, Chen Xiang said. I will treat her like a sister, don't worry. Yen Xilan's heart was filled with an indescribable melancholy as she stretched out her jade hands to caress Chen Xiang's handsome face. Be careful, Yen Xilan warned. Chen Xiang nodded his head, but at this time, Yunzhu walked over, stood on his tiptoes and kissed Chen Xiang on the cheek. Thank you, you must come back to the valley and play again in the future. Chen Xiang smiled and nodded. They will definitely come, take care. Chen Xiang donned a black robe, flew at a fast speed, and disguised herself. Only after Chen Xiang had left and disappeared from their line of sight did the three Yen Xilan sisters return to the Zilan mountain valley. Chen Xiang's appearance had changed their lives greatly, to the point where she was extremely grateful to Chen Xiang. Within the heaven-sacred city, Chen Xiang was walking around the side of the plaza. Although he could not get close, looking from afar, he could see that there were a lot of people setting up formations, but their methods were extremely secretive, so outsiders would not be able to see them. In order for you to dare to attack, they will definitely not place any experts in the plaza. At that time, we will just need to use the 72 changes in combination with the Heaven Tour method, and we will not need to step into the plaza to obtain the Chaos Fire. Long Shui said. Chen Xiang stayed at the tavern that was the closest to the plaza. He had been observing the stage all day, waiting for the day the event would begin. This was the last vote he had in the sacred Dan realm, and he was extremely moved when he thought of how he would not leave any regret behind. In the blink of an eye, a few days had passed, and today, the entire plaza was filled with people. All of them were dressed extravagantly, with solemn expressions. It's finally here. Chen Xiang anxiously took out a jade token, which was used to communicate with Bai Xing. Sister Bai Xing, if you summon the stars, how long will it take for you to land? It was still early in the morning, and the chaotic mountain had announced that the summoning ceremony would be held at noon. In about 10 breaths' time, that fiery star will fall from the sky. I specially selected that star. After being summoned, it will burn up a large amount of fire and electricity, and rush to the ground at an extremely fast speed. From the energy contained within the star, if that group of old fellows didn't intervene, they would all die. Bai Xing said in a serious tone, if they don't stop us at that time, I'll have the star explode in the sky, in case we destroy the city and harm the innocent. Chen Xiang said, Amen. At that time, if they really don't stop you, you don't have to be depressed, even if the stars self-detonate in the sky. This group of old fellows are more afraid of death than me, they will definitely intervene. Although he said that, he could not help but feel shocked in his heart. This Bai Xing's inherent skill was really too terrifying. Summoning stars can only be done once every 500 years or so. If it could be carried out consecutively, White Tiger Race would be the ruler of the entire heaven realm long ago. Long Shui said. Could still see Fan Yakan and Lin Shiyi, even Yen Xilan had come. If they could not stop the descending star, then everyone here would be done for. It's about to start. When the time comes, everyone will say that Chaotic Mountain summoned that star down, and it won't be me. Chen Xiang felt extremely nervous at this moment. I hope that those old BASTARDS will be able to make their move in time. Many people were looking around to see if Chen Xiang was around. Although Chaotic Mountain said that he was summoning the GODS with his Chaos Fire, everyone could tell that it was a trap set up for Chen Xiang. If Chen Xiang was able to win, then Chaotic Mountain would be utterly embarrassed, as said, and would have lost the last Chaos Fire in their hand. It's starting. Chen Xiang's heart tightened. Seeing a white-haired old man wearing a gray robe flying up to the stage, he took out 3 Chaos Fire and inserted them into a wooden board. Then, he jumped down and stood in the middle of the crowd. Chen Xiang's mind stirred and he released his Fa Li. He wanted to do the same thing as last time when he stole the jade dragon flower, to use a deceptive trick and create an illusion above the stage, and inside the illusion, Long Shui would form a big hand to catch the 3 chaos fire and bring it back. In order to prevent himself from being caught when the time comes, Chen Xiang would make Bai Xing summon that star down, and then perform an ability to steal together with Long Shui. Chen Xiang's soul was now much stronger, and his mana was even more powerful. He was able to instantly cast that deceptive spell, so he did not need too much time. Sister Bai Xing, let's begin. Chen Xiang held onto the jade tablet and sent a message to Bai Xing. At the same time, he and Long Shui released their mana, allowing the mana to come up to the stage. Suddenly, the array formation in the plaza flashed with a gold light, and Chen Xiang, who was in the hotel, appeared on the stage after blacking out. Chen Xiang was extremely shocked. He did not understand why he had to push and pull them over, which caught him off guard, but he still put the 3 chaos fire into the storage magic treasure just in time. The chaos fire was real, which made him feel a lot more at ease. Seeing Chen Xiang suddenly appear on the stage, Yan Xilan was extremely shocked in his heart, because Chen Xiang had said that he would never step into the plaza later on. Standing around the plaza, the spectators were all stirred up, because Chen Xiang had really come and took away the chaos fire, but it would be impossible to escape now. Chen Xiang, you really have a good method. Although I do not know what kind of power you used to quietly enter the plaza, but you were still sensed by the formation we set up. Then, the formation opened, the universe S.H.I. plus feeded, and you were brought in through the S.P.A.C. The gray-robed elder laughed out loud. Hand over the chaos fire in your hands, I guarantee that Chaotic Mountain will not pursue this matter any further. At this moment, the faces of all the experts at the edges of the plaza changed greatly. They raised their heads to look at the sky, only to see a huge rock that was burning with flames and flash. H.I. plus ing with lightning descending from the sky. Quick, everyone! Otherwise we will all die. The entire 18th level will be destroyed. Du Hai bellowed, his eyes turning red. He anxiously jumped up. All of the experts jumped up as fast as they could to gather their strength. They were prepared to catch that giant star and then move on to other places. If they exploded right here, then the entire city would definitely be smashed to smithereens. C667. C667 Yan Xilan glanced at Chen Xiang. She quickly flew up as well. Primordius, hurry up. This boy is trapped in the array formation and can't get out. An old man shouted. The person called Yuan was the gray-robed elder. He suddenly saw Chen Xiang take out a disc-like thing, and it was still frantically absorbing the energy from Chen Xiang's body. Chen Xiang had already succeeded. What he needed to do now was to open a dimensional door and return to the mortal martial realm. After Chen Xiang stepped into the 100 refining realm, it became denser, enough for him to return to the mortal martial realm. A spatial door appeared. When Primordius saw it, he shouted, Chen Xiang, go and die. After the many experts who were flying in the sky heard this, they immediately turned their heads, only to see Primordius waving his palm, causing a gray chi to shoot towards Chen Xiang, and Chen Xiang, who was about to enter the dimensional door, was struck by the chi, becoming a blood mist. The dimensional door also closed at this moment. In that moment, Yan Xilan's mind went blank. Looking at the blood mist floating above the stage, she felt her heart throbbing in pain, causing her to almost fall down. Everyone who saw this scene was extremely shocked, although Chen Xiang was a weak person, but the things he did were so shocking that they did not expect him to die just like that. Du Hai let out a long sigh, feeling extremely regretful. He continued to fly up in the air, and after the many experts were shocked, they also continued to stop the star from falling down. Yan Xilan resisted the pain in her heart, and glared at Primordius angrily. She clenched her jade fists, and with tears in her eyes, she flew towards the star in the sky. Within the mortal martial realm, Chun Xiang appeared within a forest. This was the Chun Martial Continent, a forest very close to the Super Martial School, so Chun Xiang looked at his broken legs and scolded with a smile. Old B-A-S-T-A-R-D, I won in the end, haha. Chun Xiang was just a little slower, both of his legs were blown into B-L-O-O-D. Why missed, but he had quickly grown up. Seeing blood, flesh and bones constantly growing on his thighs, Chun Xiang exclaimed, "Is this the power of the Jade Dragon's regeneration? He really is powerful. Looks like you already have a Jade Dragon blood. You don't have any strength at all right now and you can grow it quickly. Only the Jade Dragon blood can do that." Long Shui smiled tenderly. "We have finally returned to this place and I don't know how much time has passed," said. Chun Xiang used all of his strength to open the dimensional door and return to the mortal martial realm. Although he was currently powerless, he felt incredibly relaxed, and he had finally returned to the land of his birth. There weren't many old fellows here who were strong enough to destroy the heavens and the earth. Those old fellows from the sacred Dan realm should think that you are already dead. By you said, and both she and Su Meiyao broke out in a cold sweat. It's for the best. I hope these old fellows can live a little longer. I will definitely look for them. Chun Xiang looked at his recovered legs and praised. He used all his strength to stand up and walk a few steps. It's no different from my original legs. It's hard to imagine that my body can recover to its original state even with such a strong body. Chun Xiang patted his bare thighs and released waves of disgusting laughter, scaring the birds and beasts to the point that they flew around. After consuming all the pills, Chun Xiang quickly recovered a lot of innate qi. He donned a pair of pants and flew around the forest. He was already very familiar with the place. If it was to use medicine to recover a damaged body, not only would it not be as strong as it was before, it would also be very uncomfortable. But now I feel that my legs have never been broken before. Chun Xiang now understood why the other Imperial Dragon were fighting over the Jade Dragon blood like they were their treasures, and also understood why so many female dragons threw themselves into their arms. The dragon's body was very strong. If it was injured, it would take a very long time to recover, but if there were Jade Dragon blood, it could quickly recover. As soon as Chun Xiang entered the Super Martial Profound Realm, he was very surprised, because he saw a very young bald man. The smile on the baldy's face was very gentle, looking like he was harmless. Chun Xiang would never forget this smile, because this was Wu Kaming's signature smile. "Little baldy, haha. Are you old again? What's going on?" Chun Xiang slapped Wu Kaming's SHI plus New York skull until it cracked loudly, causing many elders and true disciples to break out in cold sweat. In all of Super Martial School, probably only a monster like Chun Xiang would dare to hit Wu Kaming on the head like that, and while patting him, he laughed out loud. If it were anyone else, they would have died a long time ago. "Congratulations, you have successfully passed," said the 8th level of Nirvana Tribulation. "You are only one step away from advancing to Heaven Realm." Chun Xiang laughed, touching that bright bald head. Wu Kaming laughed bitterly. "Junior Martial Uncle, you're the same as that madman. You always have to tease me like this when you see my bald head." Chun Xiang brought Wu Kaming back to the Super Dan Imperial College. After entering, he did not see the Elder Dan nor Wu Qianqian, and could not help but sigh in his heart. "This is all thanks to the martial arts the old madman Paas set on to me, allowing me to have such a youthful appearance. However, this caused me to pay a lot of cost and I was almost crushed to death by that old madman." Wu Kaming recalled the events of the past and sighed. Chun Xiang found out from Wu Kaming that it had only been a little more than a month since Mortal Martial Realm, and it was now the time for Devil Subduing College to hold the Demon Subduing Martial Arts Tournament, inviting many experts from Nirvana Stage to exchange pointers with their martial skills. This son of God D is a very powerful person, and he was always provoking you. However, there was no trace of you, so many people thought that you were afraid and didn't accept his challenge. Wu Kaming sighed with emotion. This D child came down from the heaven realm and has quite a bit of status in the heaven realm. He brought some bodies and pills that can be used to rope in some powerful old fellows. The devil-subduing college's influence within the mortal martial realm is growing wider and wider. Chen Xiang was not surprised by this, but he also believed that the D child could not threaten him, not to mention that the D son did not have as many demon-suppressing bodies as he did. His experience in the sacred Dan realm had made him even more powerful, whether it was in terms of mental state or strength. It was completely different from before. The anti-demon martial arts compet. One Tian? Of course I have to join in the fun. Chen Xiang left immediately. He left the super martial school, stepped onto the transmission array and arrived at the continent of the king, and then rushed towards the devil-subduing college. The conditions offered by the devil-subduing college were very generous, and with the help of the anti-demon martial arts, there was no need to spend too much spar. Therefore, many disciples from famous sects in the mortal martial realm had all entered into the academy, and in a short period of time, many cities had been established near the devil-subduing college, becoming very lively. Chen Xiang arrived at a city near the devil-subduing college. When he found out the name of this city, he was very surprised because its name was Shaoyun. Chen Xiang arrived at a city near the devil-subduing college. When he found out the name of this city, he was very surprised because its name was Shaoyun. This made him immediately think of Liao Shaoyun. This enemy who had been with him for many years was someone he had long planned to get rid of as soon as possible once he returned from sacred Dan realm. Walking on the streets, Chen Xiang saw many people wearing white robes. On the back of the robes, there were 4 words written in red, Shao Yun Martial Club. Chen Xiang quickly thought of something. He was sure that this Liao Shaoyun must have used some method to get the D child's recognition, otherwise, he would not be able to establish his small force here. He was sure that the Shao Yun Martial Club's master was Liao Shaoyun. After some inquiry, Chen Xiang found out that the Shao Yun Martial Club was indeed Liao Shaoyun's, and that the city had been renamed because of the Shao Yun Martial Club here. The reason the city was opened for a month was mainly for those who were rich but were not qualified to enter the devil-subduing college. Because the Shao Yun Martial Club had the support of the D child, many people had signed up to join the dojo to learn martial art. This allowed Liao Shaoyun to obtain a very substantial amount of income. This Delay son of his can no longer sit still. He actually popped out to display his strength, and because of his high status and talent, a group of people chased after him. This is not strange at all. This guy is from the heaven realm after all, so he must have brought a lot of good stuff from above to rope in some strong warriors. Su Meiyao said. Chen Xiang now disguised himself and went into the city. When he first killed Dongfang Yao of the Eastern Lai Hall in the devil-subduing college, although no one saw him do it, they all suspected him. After that, not only was he expelled from the devil-subduing college, he was also wanted by 100 million spar. Amongst the 4 great temples of the devil-subduing college, Dongfang Yao of the Eastern Lai Hall had a very ill trious history, but he was still slaughtered. As for Hua Qiuxia of the Southern Fragrance 100 Flowers Hall, he had initially attacked Chen Xiang when he was in the Fragrance City, but was caught red-handed by Hua Xiangyue, and was imprisoned in the death prison of the Dan Fragrance Pure Land. The 2 hall masters had both gone missing because of Chen Xiang, so how could the D child not know? Therefore, facing the D child's challenge, it made sense for Chen Xiang to disappear in the eyes of many people. After all, the D child was from heaven realm. Using common sense, no matter how strong Chen Xiang was, he would definitely not be able to kill the people from the sky. But many people did not know that Chen Xiang had actually killed the people from the sky before, and it was even a nirvana stage. Chen Xiang arrived at a hotel near the Xiaoyun Martial Club and sat there watching Liao Xiaoyun walk out of the door. Liao Xiaoyun was still as young as he was in the past, his strength was still at the peak of the 100 refining realm, and his complexion was pretty good. I pulled out the Thunder Soul and he recovered his strength so quickly? Qin Xiang muttered. What surprised Qin Xiang was that Liao Xiaoyun was actually standing at the door, looking at a crack on the ground, and he said with a cold smile, Qin Xiang's swine friend is the same as him, a fellow who doesn't know the limits of heaven and earth. He actually dared to provoke our Xiaoyun Martial Club. When Qin Xiang heard this, the wine cup in his hand shattered with a "kacha" sound. He was extremely furious in his heart, because he knew who the person with one of his arms was. At this time, he saw a man dressed in beautiful golden clothes suddenly appear from inside the door, and entered into an extremely luxurious carriage. The carriage was pulled by 4 flying horses, and they flew away from Xiaoyun City in the blink of an eye. Is that guy the son of God? He really has a big frame, I couldn't even see his face. Suddenly, Chen Xiang saw a black-skinned handsome man standing on the street. He had a face filled with killing intent as he walked towards Xiaoyun Martial Club. Good heavens! I worked so hard to enter the 100 refining realm, this brat actually belongs to it too. Chen Xiang anxiously walked out and appeared in front of Yun Xiaodao. Yun Xiaodao saw an old man blocking his way, but just as he was about to throw his tantrum, he saw Chen Xiang's extremely familiar pair of eyes. He immediately recognized that this person was Chen Xiang who had disguised himself. Big brother! Yun Xiaodao was extremely excited, while Chen Xiang also grabbed onto his arm. Long time no see, looks like a lad has trained you guys pretty well. Yun Xiaodao was extremely excited in his heart, but his face was still filled with killing intent. Elder brother Shun, it's good that you came. To avenge this dead pig of Zhu Rong. He's now unconscious and heavily injured, and he doesn't have a single arm left. I will. Let's go wake old Zhu up first. Chen Xiang's expression was gloomy, traces of overflowing killing intent flickered in his eyes. Even if he has the G.O.D. child as his backer, I will definitely exterminate him. You are too reckless. The people in Xiaoyun Martial Club are not weak. Yun Xiaodao sighed helplessly. Even if I had to risk my life, I would still kill that bastard. He actually stopped us from registering for the demon-subduing martial arts compet. 1. Tie-in, and even slandered us for stealing from the students of the devil-subduing college. Let's go. I guarantee that this Xiaoyun Martial Club will disappear before the demon-subduing martial arts compet. 1. Tie-in begins. Chen Xiang turned his head and looked at the luxurious mansion. Zhu Rong was in a coma and suffered heavy injuries, but he managed to stabilize himself. It seemed like he had consumed a better pill, but he needed time to recuperate. Where's everyone else in Alad? How can he let old Zhu be bullied by others? Chen Xiang took out a pill and placed it in Zhu Rong's mouth. Chen Xiang suddenly sensed an ice-cold innate qi. He turned his head to look, only to see 15 Weilongs staring at him with narrowed eyes, causing him to jump in fright. Blinded dragon, not bad. Chen Xiang smiled and patted his shoulder. His strength was actually 100 refining realm. G Xingren wanted to HI plus ELD Liao Xiaoyun, and this is a matter of the younger generation. Leader went to look for the old fogey in devil-subduing college, and those old fogies also wanted to represent Liao Xiaoyun in apologizing, so we just left it at that. XV Weilong said coldly. G Xingren was that God child's name, but in Xiaoyun Martial Club and Devil-Subduing College, they both had to address him as God child. Chen Xiang rubbed his fist. What's with the apologies? Devil-Subduing College used 100 million spar to arrest me, and when I disappeared, there must have been many people looking for me." Hearing this, the blood of Yun Xiaodao and 15 Weilong burned fiercely, excitement written all over their faces. They knew that if Chen Xiang was here, then this would definitely be the outcome for Xiao Yun Martial Club. "Master, why didn't you tell me not to do this kind of thing?" A voice appeared, startling Chen Xiang and the other two. A 15 or 16-year-old, white, tender, and handsome, bald youth appeared at the door. "Xiao Chou?" Chen Xiang laughed loudly. He flew over, raised his hand and fiercely slapped his S.H.I. plus Ning bald head. "You brat, why have you grown so much?" Chen Xiang remembered that when Xiao Chou left him, he was only a child, but he was now a teenager. The fact that the great strength race was growing very slowly, and that he had a young appearance now, meant that he had lived for a very long time, and that was something that could only be done within the time formation. "Master, you don't have to worry. Although I am much stronger than you now, but you are still my master, because without your teachings, I would not have had the chance to comprehend the legacies of my ancestors," Su Yun said calmly. Xiao Chou said very seriously. Yun Xiaodao and XV Weilong saw Xiao Chou saying these words. He had thought that under Gu Dongchen's nurturing, his progress had been extremely fast. However, with just a few words from Xiao Chou, he seemed to have the power to instantly kill Chen Xiang. Yun Xiaodao and XV Weilong saw Xiao Chou saying these words. He had thought that under Gu Dongchen's nurturing, his progress had been extremely fast. However, with just a few words from Xiao Chou, he seemed to have the power to instantly kill Chen Xiang. And what about Chen Xiang's strength? Yun Xiaodao, XV Weilong and Xiao Chou could not tell, but from the information that they obtained from Chen Xiang's previous disappearance, it could be the soul martial realm. Chen Xiang slapped Xiao Chou's bald head again. "Brat, you still deserve to be taught a lesson, huh? From the looks of it, you seem to be unrivaled in the world? This isn't good." Xiao Chou smiled, smiling extremely confidently. At this time, he no longer had the attitude of looking down on everyone else. "Master, what I said was the truth. My great strength race's inheritance is already very extraordinary. I have now reached the peak of the 100 refining realm, and after I comprehended the legacy of the great strength race, I received a lot of power of giving, allowing me to sense the martial spirits, strengthen my martial spirits, strengthen my body, from the spirit martial realm to the soul martial realm. All of these went unobstructed. In one breath's time, I reached my current stage. Peak of 100 refining realm." Yun Xiaodao and XV Weilong were both extremely shocked, and had even went up in one go. But Chen Xiang just smiled playfully. He did not care about it at all, but in his heart, he was secretly thankful for his foresight. Fortunately, he had gained a lot from Sacred Dan realm, otherwise, he would really be killed by his own disciple. "Pa pa pa!" Chen Xiang fiercely slapped Xiao Chou's S.H.I. plus New York skull a few times. "Brat, you're still too arrogant. Don't think that you're the only one who's leveling up. The others have not gotten any enhancements yet." "Master, are you faster than me? It's only been a short while. I remember that when I parted with you back then, you had only just stepped into the extreme realm. I admit that I was able to improve so quickly due to a fortuitous encounter, but don't worry, Master, with your talent, you'll still have a chance to surpass me in the future. I'm still your disciple." Before he finished speaking, Chen Xiang suddenly struck out with his palm, but because the speed was too fast, no one saw him make a move, but with a loud explosion, Xiao Chou's entire person disappeared. After Xiao Chou was sent flying by Chen Xiang, his body instantly penetrated through many houses, and smashed out a large hole in many houses and walls. "This brat, if I don't teach him a lesson, I really won't know how powerful I am." Chen Xiang smiled faintly. Yun Xiaodao and XV Weilong didn't seem to be too surprised, because it was considered normal in their eyes, and they only sighed in their hearts. Zhu Rong woke up. After he had eaten Chen Xiang's medicinal pellet, his arms slowly grew back. This pellet was a pellet of top-grade ground level. Even Nirvana stage could quickly recover after eating it, let alone Zhu Rong. It was just that Chen Xiang did not tell him the name of this expensive medicinal pellet. Younger brother Shen, I purposely got injured because I wanted you to appear. I knew you would come. Zhu Rong's complexion looked much better, but after seeing Chen Xiang, he laughed out loud. Actually, it's already not bad that I was able to stay under Liao Xiaoyun's lead for a few moves. I'll leave this guy to you guys. Xiao Chou returned. His entire body was covered in soil and ashes. He saw that Chen Xiang was no longer bragging. He had been tensed up just now, on the alert that Chen Xiang would suddenly come to test him, yet he was still sent flying by Chen Xiang's palm. Furthermore, he did not even use the slightest bit of innate qi. Old Zhu, you should be able to walk now, right? Chen Xiang asked. Zhu Rong immediately jumped up from the bed and asked with a smile, "Just what kind of pill is this? It took me so long to completely recover." Of course Chen Xiang would not tell him that it was a relive Dan. He only smiled and said, "H.E.L. Ganoderma, I have something for you to do." When Xiao Chou, XV Weilong, Yun Xiaodao and the other two saw Chen Xiang's words, they knew that Chen Xiang had a plan to deal with that Liao Xiaoyun. "Just say it," Zhu Rong said. "This is the 9 quenching body Dan. Think of a way to spread the bounty order. Just say you can obtain this 9 quenching body Dan after taking Liao Xiaoyun's head." Chen Xiang took out a pellet. This kind of pellet, in his eyes, was no different from a pea. However, in the eyes of Zhu Rong and the rest, it was indeed a treasure. They felt that using pills to place a bounty on Liao Xiaoyun was not worth it. Chen Xiang laughed. "Relax with how smart Liao Xiaoyun is. He will definitely not be caught." As he spoke, he took out another pill. "This is the Relive Dan." Smelling the medicinal fragrance, when they heard the 3 words, Relive Dan, Zhu Rong and the other 3 were immediately dumbstruck. The Relive Dan, an expensive pellet of upper-grade ground level, actually existed for Chen Xiang to have this kind of thing. Xiao Chou now understood why Chen Xiang was stronger than him, because Chen Xiang was still an alchemist. "Don't try to steal it. This is for the God's head. I want to see how they can still act so arrogantly." "Chen Xiang Pas," said the 2 pellets to Zhu Rong. "If you want to return to the Super Martial School and release this news there, you will need to invite some old geezers from the medicine world to appraise this. You also need to find some other reputable powers to support your bounty." Yun Xiaodao and the others could not believe that Chen Xiang actually gave these 2 precious pellets to Zhu Rong so easily to issue a bounty. "These are 10 Chunyuan gold Dan. Tell them this is their reward, so they can spread the news of this within the shortest amount of time possible to the entire mortal martial realm." Chen Xiang was an alchemist, so naturally, the thing he lacked the most was pellet. As of now, Yun Xiaodao and the others could already completely feel the outcome of offending an alchemist. "Relax, I have a lot of these things, but you all must prepare spars to buy from me. Although you are my friends, I cannot give them to you all for nothing." Chen Xiang chuckled. "You guys should know that not everyone has the chance to be slaughtered by me." Yun Xiaodao laughed out loud. "To be able to buy this pill, no matter how many cuts we get killed, we would be willing to do so. It seems like we have to find some time to get these spars." Through the transmission array in the city, Zhu Rong was sent to the great transmission array of the City of the King, and then, he was sent back to the Super Martial School. In just half a day's time, Yun Xiaodao had received news of the bounty. The entire mortal martial realm was alarmed because this was an extremely large bounty, and it had to be known that the Relive Dan was far more enticing than the spar, especially to those old fellows from the Nirvana stage. Even if they were 9 quenching body Dan S, there were many hundred refining realm S and warriors who were interested in them. "This is troublesome. I found out that it was old Zhu who gave them rewards. Luckily he is currently in Super Martial School." Yun Xiaodao laughed. Old Zhu was injured by Liao Xiaoyun, so it is normal for him to do such a thing. It is just that many people are curious to know who gave him the pill. Xiao Chou rubbed his bald head and laughed. Many people should have guessed that this master gave it to him. Oh right, master, when are you planning to destroy Xiaoyun Martial Club? Chen Xiang did not say anything. He was using the Heaven Tour method, letting his own consciousness wander on top of the Xiaoyun Martial Club. He could clearly hear and see the things there. C670. C670 as Chen Xiang's divine soul grew. When he used the Heaven Tour, he could also let his consciousness travel a little further. However, compared to Long Shui, it was still much worse, and he still spent a lot of the magic power. He looked down at the entire Xiaoyun martial arts school, and very quickly saw Liao Xiaoyun's gloomy face, full of confidence as he returned to the dojo. Pa S down the order. Once you see Yun Xiaodao and the others, you must capture them. Moreover, you must not allow anyone else to enter. Liao Xiaoyun was currently FLU S-tiered and exasperated. He never thought that there would actually be someone who would use such an expensive medicinal pellet to offer him rewards, and he didn't have the same concealed skill as Chen Xiang, so he was naturally afraid. Chen Xiang regained his senses and said, Liao Xiaoyun should be back, and G.O.D. child W.A.N. Ji Xingren probably doesn't dare to leave now. He must be very angry right now. He is a dignified G.O.D. child, but unexpectedly, someone used a broken pellet to place a bounty on his head. He did not expect to have such a day. What dogs? H.I. plus T.G.O.D. son of A.B.I.T.C.H. Even if he is destined to become A.G.O.D. in the future, he is just a fart without strength right now. Xiao Chou laughed. Chen Xiang looked at the sky. The sky was filled with thick clouds and it was already dusk. With such a thick layer of clouds, it will definitely be very dark tonight. It's a dark, windy night, a night to kill. Chen Xiang said, Let's start tonight. There were no Nirvana stage in Xiaoyun's dojo, so Long Shui was certain of this point, and although there were only 4 people on Chen Xiang's side, they were all experts, especially this great strength race who had received a fortuitous encounter and had his bloodline awaken. Even Chen Xiang felt that it would take a lot of effort to defeat his disciple. Elder brother Shen, that means you're not going to partake. 1P8 in the Annihilate Devil Martial Compet. 1. Tian any more? Yun Xiaodao asked. Why do you ask? I will definitely attend it. Chen Xiang laughed. You killed Liao Xiaoyun, they will definitely not let you sign up. Yun Xiaodao said, When the time comes, we won't be able to register. Xiao Chou said, If you don't want to, then don't want to go. Yun Xiaodao said, Then the Annihilate Devil Martial Compet. Tian's reward is a small white dragon blood dan. It's said that W.A.N. Ji Xingren took it out himself, and it's now in the custody of the Prink. 1P Al in charge of the martial arts tournament. The white dragon blood dan caused Chen Xiang to be secretly shocked. He anxiously said, Chen Xiang, this white dragon blood dan can be used to help the white-haired beauty awaken the white dragon vein in her body. Previously, Dongfang Yao had said that the God child had a way to allow Ling Yulan to awaken his white dragon vein. In order for Ling Yulan to gain immense power, Chen Xiang had to get hold of the white dragon blood dan. Can't you get this thing out? Chen Xiang asked Long Shui. What exactly is this thing? To ordinary people, the greatest use is to strengthen the physical body, but it is only useful for people with weaker physical bodies. Usually, the white dragon blood dan would be used for humans with white dragon vein to consume, so for those kind of people, the greatest use is awakening of their bloodline. Understood. Furthermore, you must have the strength of an immortal to have a dragon that has been born. I cannot do that. Long Shui said. XV Weilong said, As long as we can register, we can partake. 1. P8 Once we pass the examination. Wan. Ji Xingren had always wanted to challenge Chen Xiang, so they would definitely not stop him from registering. Chen Xiang nodded his head. That's right, if I am stopped, I will disguise myself and use a different name. This white dragon blood Dan must be very valuable to Wan. Ji Xingren, I will not take it. When the time comes, Wan. Ji Xingren will also partake. 1p8. He was confident that he could get first place, which was why he was willing to take out the white dragon blood Dan as a reward. There's a good show to see now. Yun Xiaodao laughed. At night, Chen Xiang, Yun Xiaodao, Zhu Rong and Xiao Chou were walking on the main street. At this time, Shaoyun City was still bustling with activity, and shouts could be heard from Shaoyun Martial Arts School, accompanied with the shock wave from the compet. 1 Tian. Liao Shaoyun is gone, he's not inside. Long Shui suddenly said. Could he be hiding somewhere? Chen Xiang did not expect Liao Shaoyun, who had just returned, to suddenly leave. Whatever, tonight I must destroy this Shaoyun dojo. Chen Xiang was still aggressively walking on the street, and anyone who saw him would know that he did not come with good intentions, and that he was heading towards the Shaoyun dojo. When the matter of Liao Shaoyun getting bounty had just occurred, there were people attacking him at night, which was very normal, but inside this city, most of the Partic. 1p ants were those who had come to Partic. 1p8 in the Annihilate Devil Martial Compet. 1 Tian. They recognized Yun Xiaodao and XV Weilong, but neither Xiao Chou, who was disguised, nor Xiao Chou recognized them. Chen Xiang and the rest were followed by a group of people who came to watch the show, which suited Chen Xiang's intentions. At the entrance of Shaoyun's dojo, Chen Xiang and the others were stopped by two muscular men. What are you doing? If you want to take the position of the owner, get the H.E.L.L. out of here. With that, Xiao Chou threw a punch towards the tightly shut door. The power of the punch was like thunder, spitting out a burst of golden light. Striking the air, it created a wave of chi undulations and shock waves, and struck the two robust men's bodies, causing the door to immediately shatter, and the two of them flew into the dojo, their huge bodies SMAs. HI+ing through many buildings. This caused everyone to be shocked, because this youth's attack was not ordinary. A simple punch actually had such a strong power. Let's go. Chen Xiang shouted coldly. A sound wave rippled out from his mouth and transformed into a dragon's roar. Like a raging dragon, it stirred up a powerful energy storm. The green ripples that could be seen with the naked eye extended forward mightily. When the luxuriously decorated door touched the sonic wave, it was instantly ripped into pieces. Those who rushed out from the sound wave were all shaken as their blood surged, and they vomited blood while shouting. This move not only shocked those who came to watch the show, but also Yun Xiaodao and the others. The Dragon Roar was a sound wave martial art from the God level, and Chen Xiang had used 3 levels of power to seek death, causing such strong damage. If he used his power, then those people would have been shocked senseless, and even the people around him would be affected. Chen Xiang walked in front and stepped on the broken pieces, using an extremely violent method to enter Shaoyun's dojo. You all, what are you guys doing here? A middle-aged man rushed out with a group of people. Seeing the broken-down area and the many experts of his dojo lying on the ground, he felt the ferocious aura from Chen Xiang and the others, which made him shocked. We are here to cause trouble. Didn't Liao Shaoyun say that before? Whoever has the ability can come and destroy his Shaoyun dojo at any time. Yun Xiaodao laughed loudly. Where is this idiot hiding? He would be very sorry if he couldn't see his dojo destroyed. Xiao Chou curled his lips and said, Since we are here to smash the building, then let's not be so long-winded. Let me prove it, we are indeed here to smash the building. The Great Strength race had always been a warlike person. His entire body was filled with violence and blood. Now that he had the chance, Xiao Chou was extremely excited, his blood boiling. He rushed in, and in that instant, a house collapsed and turned into ruins. In the pitch-black night sky, the Xiao Yun Martial Clubs, who were like palaces, were collapsing one house after another. Yun Xiaodao, Xiao Chou and XV Weilong had wreaked havoc in this place, but no one dared to stop them. In the pitch-black night sky, the Xiao Yun Martial Clubs, who were like palaces, were collapsing one house after another. Yun Xiaodao, Xiao Chou and XV Weilong had wreaked havoc in this place, but no one dared to stop them. Seeing how cruel Chen Xiang and the rest were, they naturally knew that these four people had steeled their hearts to smash Xiao Yun Martial Club to the ground. This showed that they were not afraid of Liao Xiaoyun and the G.O.D. children at all, and if they went to stop them now, they might be killed. Although Liao Xiaoyun was not here, it was still not bad to smash his dojo. All of you stop right now. Do you think you have a long life? A thunderous shout rang out, startling everyone. There were many people gathered outside the Xiao Yun Martial Club. There were people from both the city and the Xiao Yun Martial Club, but most of them knew who the voice belonged to. It was the city lord here, named Kai Yu. Xiao Dao, who is this guy? Chen Xiang asked, while Yun Xiaodao and the others also stopped beating them up, gathering together. They were worried that the devil-subduing college would send out a few old fellows, so their attack speed was extremely fast. In the entire Xiao Yun Martial Club, most of them had already been turned into ruins, and there were even hundreds of injured people, all of whom were invited by the Xiao Yun Martial Club. This guy is called Kai Yu, he's from City Lord, it's said that he's from there. He's at the peak of 100 refining realm, and he's already 1,000 years old this year. Although he's a hopeless bastard who relies on elixirs to increase his lifespan, he's not weak at all. Yun Xiaodao said. 100 refining realm warrior who could live for more than 1,000 years would definitely not be weak, but Chen Xiang was not afraid at all. Master, let me do it. Xiao Chou stepped forward and stood in front of Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang nodded. Be careful. Long Xue was monitoring the surroundings' movements. Once a powerful old fellow appeared, he would immediately inform Chen Xiang and the others to escape, in case they were caught by the Nirvana stage. Kai Yu had the appearance of a middle-aged man, but his hair was already somewhat white. He was tall and sturdy, with eyes filled with anger, because he saw that the people who came to his territory to behave atrociously were 4 young brats, especially Yun Xiaodao and XV Weilong. Liao Xiaoyun had once instructed him to pay attention to these 2 people. Liao Xiaoyun's lackey, oh no, it should be the G.O.D. child's lackey. How many shameful things did you all do for W.A.N.G. Xingren? I heard that W.A.N. Ji Xingren, this divine rod, has some special hobbies. Before Yun Xiaodao could finish his sentence, Kai Yu shouted, You are publicly insulting the son of G.O.D. You are all doomed. Yun Xiaodao said with a cold laugh. Did someone personally see someone capture a few 15 to 16-year-old youths and bring them into the devil-subduing college's divine hall? When Kai Yu heard this, he shouted angrily, You're slandering me. With that, the big fist struck towards Yun Xiaodao, a gold light flashed, the dense killing intent created a gust of wind, blowing up a large amount of ruins. Your opponent is me. Xiao Chou shouted. His palm became like lightning, his imposing manner swift. Everyone only saw Xiao Chou wave his palm, forming a golden rainbow, and directly struck Kai Yu's huge fist. Pow! With a crisp sound, it gave rise to a burst of air waves, blowing away the sand. Xiao Chou had only casually struck out with his palm, but he had withstood Kai Yu's furious punch. 1,000-year-old B.A.S.T. A.R.D. If you don't hide in the S8. L and wait for death, stick your head out for others to chop, you're the one who thinks you have a long life. Xiao Chou laughed out loud. Both of his palms were like a storm, the palm technique was berserk but not chaotic. Kai was caught unprepared by this sudden and exquisite yet violent palm attack, and could only block it. He was even angrier now because he dreaded others mentioning his age, and not only had Xiao Chou mentioned it, he had also insulted him. Xiao Chou was a born genius of the great strength race, and after his power awakened, he received another fortuitous encounter, which resulted in a series of breakthroughs. His strength was extraordinary, and every palm of his contained the power to split a mountain. Chen Xiang could tell that Xiao Chou's strength was growing stronger and stronger, to the point that every step he took caused the ground to tremble. That kind of power was something he had never seen before. It was different from the power of the innate qi. It was a type of power that seemed to come from the body, but it was not because it also carried a kind of strange aura. Who the hell are you? Another palm struck Kai Yu's chest, shattering his internal organs. Remember, I am called Xiao Chou. Speak the truth, what kind of heinous matter did that son of Godwang Xingren want you dogs to do? Xiao Chou kicked Kai Yu's left shoulder. A powerful force broke both his left shoulder and one of his arms, and blood and bone fragments shot out from his skin. The pain made Kai Yu scream out in pain. Speak. Xiao Chou stomped his foot on Kai Yu's right shoulder, otherwise your arm would have been broken as well. The sharp pain from earlier sent HI+ down Kai Yu's spine. He gritted his teeth and said, "He told us to capture some virgins in some remote villages." 4. Before he could finish his sentence, a beam of fire shot down from the sky and struck Kai Yu's head. The head then exploded into pieces. Ned Guy, who is it? Xiao Chou looked up and saw Liao Xiaoyun, dressed in white, flying down from the sky slowly. Seeing the handsome man use the same method to kill Kai Yu just now, everyone started to believe that the child had truly done something evil. If not, Liao Xiaoyun would not have silenced him. Liao Xiaoyun looked at Xiao Chou and said indifferently, "It's you who smashed my Xiaoyun martial club? You are forcing the city lord to admit that you have slandered the son of God. If you want to slander the reputation of the son of God, you are going against the devil-subduing college." Liao Xiaoyun did not recognize Chen Xiang. He only looked at Xiao Chou coldly, because Xiao Chou gave him a very oppressive feeling. Xiao Chou of the great strength race? I had wanted to kill you since long ago. Who asked you to be Chen Xiang's disciple? And now you are here to destroy my Xiaoyun martial club. Die. Liao Xiaoyun's handsome face, which was like jade, suddenly had veins popping out. Her body suddenly spewed out rays of golden light, making her look like a holy light, causing people to have the urge to kneel down and wars. HI+P her. Seeing this, everyone hurriedly left. Seize the other 3, then leave the baldy to me. I'll make him suffer a fate worse than death. Liao Xiaoyun's face was sinister, his body releasing holy golden light that was out of place, just like a devil that could use its pure and holy power. And the other 3, who were enveloped by this light, had a different feeling because they felt a very evil aura, and it made them feel as if they were facing an evil God who had just walked out of HELL. Little demon of the great strength race, the God child must really like you. Liao Xiaoyun laughed sinisterly as he struck out with his palm in the air. Liao Xiaoyun's hand released a golden light that turned into a hand without flesh, looking extremely frightening. Liao Xiaoyun's current martial arts. It shocked Chen Xiang, because this kind of martial arts was definitely not owned by the mortal realm, and the evil qi that was shot out was only found in those extremely evil martial arts. The evil arts that he cultivated did not have such evil qi. Liao Xiaoyun's current martial arts. It shocked Chen Xiang, because this kind of martial arts was definitely not owned by the mortal realm, and the evil qi that was shot out was only found in those extremely evil martial arts. The evil arts that he cultivated did not have such evil qi. Xiao Chou didn't know why, but his eyes glowed red as he stood there in a daze. Qin Xiang was shocked, flying over and smashed the skeletal hand with a "pa" sound. The sound resounded through the sky like a thunderclap, and a pure supreme yang qi floated amidst the ruins. "Xiao Chou, leave this to me." Qin Xiang's voice was heavy. The evil techniques that Liao Xiaoyun was currently controlling were definitely not things that Xiao Chou could handle. Xiao Chou had woken up from his stupor. When he was exposed to the golden light at a close distance, all the blood in his body had rushed up to his head and caused him to lose consciousness. If not for Qin Xiang, he would have been struck dead. "Qin Xiang!" Liao Xiaoyun shouted with a trembling voice. At this moment, his face was filled with excitement, anger, and excitement. Liao Xiaoyun originally obtained the Thunder Soul that was even more precious than the Fire Soul, but when he was ambushed by Qin Xiang, the Thunder Soul was absorbed by Qin Xiang, causing his strength to drop greatly. Thinking back to what happened that day, Liao Xiaoyun was so angry that his entire body was trembling. He wanted to kill Qin Xiang even in his dreams. Many people had heard of Xiao Chou's great name, because he was one of the few great strength races and had once shone brilliantly in the hero tournament, but in the end he was defeated by Qin Xiang and took him as his master. And Qin Xiang's name was something that everyone could hear. Now that he had actually appeared here, the crowd immediately burst out in surprised discussion, and some people even left the Xiao Yun Martial Club far behind. Kind of brutal strength was something that many people here had seen before. After Qin Xiang was wanted, he had disappeared for more than a month. Now that he appeared again, he had done such an astonies. Hi+ing thing, destroy the Xiao Yun Martial Club and clash with Liao Xiaoyun. It had to be known that Liao Xiaoyun was like the sun in the sky, a popular person by the God's sun's side. Against Liao Xiaoyun, even if he did not place the God's sun in his eyes, a few Nirvana stages warriors would not dare to do such a thing, but Qin Xiang would. In everyone's eyes, this was something that was normal for them. "You're the one who wanted me?" Liao Xiaoyun shouted angrily. The anger in his heart had already ignited his blood to boiling point. Qin Xiang laughed blandly. "I only used a few broken pellets, but I never thought that you and that God's stick would be so scared of me like a turtle that they even shrunk their eggs." Everyone groaned and cursed in their hearts. So, how many broken pellets were they supposed to call that? Relive Dan and 9 Quenching Body Dan were all treasures to warriors. They had a price but could not be bought, yet in Qin Xiang's words, they became like broken pellets. I didn't expect that the God's stick really had some tricks up its sleeve. It can let a trash like you stand up anew. Qin Xiang looked at the strange golden light on Liao Xiaoyun's body. This divine staff is indeed a fool, to actually teach you this kind of evil technique, and his devil-subduing college's demonic techniques are all used to counter this kind of evil technique. I think that Divine Rod is worried that one day you will surpass him, so... Shut up. Qin Xiang, you are the one who cultivates the evil arts, you devouring my thunder soul, causing me to almost die. Liao Xiaoyun roared angrily, making everyone dumbstruck. Qin Xiang actually had a berserk thunder soul, and it was something that everyone was afraid of, something that was devoured from Liao Xiaoyun's body. Qin Xiang laughed indifferently. Didn't you steal it from someone else? Why haven't you made your move yet? Are you afraid of me? My devil-subduing method has already been trained to the 10th layer. Against you evil beings, it will become even more powerful, haha. Liao Xiaoyun clenched his fist tightly. He indeed had the concerns that Qin Xiang had mentioned, but he had been releasing that demonic gold light the entire time, and what surprised him was that Qin Xiang was not distracted by his gold light, but that Xiao Chou just lost consciousness in an instant. Qin Xiang could also see through Liao Xiaoyun's thoughts and laughed. I will give you another 2 hours, your insignificant skill is useless. After he had merged with devil-suppressing blood, he had cultivated the strongest devil-suppressing golden body. Not only could he use his impenetrable, he could also guard against all kinds of evil powers. Humph, you desecrate the son of G. O D, I must capture you and hand you over to the son of G. O D for punishment. Liao Xiaoyun's arms trembled, a gold light shot out from his fists danced chaotically, his steps were like thunder as he rushed towards Chen Xiang. Both of Liao Xiaoyun's fists were so fast that they formed hundreds of instantaneous punches, and each punch was even capable of striking out a ball of golden light containing an evil and terrifying power. Like a torrential rain, it landed on Chen Xiang's body. A few BALLs of golden light fell onto the ground, instantly creating a huge crater. The rainstorm-like ball of light rushed towards Chen Xiang from all directions, and the moment it touched something, it would release a wave of intense energy. Also, countless BALLs of golden light fell onto the ground around Chen Xiang, causing a series of explosions. Chen Xiang was enveloped by countless golden BALLs of light, and in just an instant, his body had suffered dozens of violent attacks. Liao Xiaoyun, on the other hand, was continuously punching out with his fist, and countless explosions continuously sounded out, filling the entire city up with the sounds of explosions. And at the place where Chen Xiang was standing, there were bursts of flash. Plus in golden light and extremely intense energy explosions, making it impossible to see what was happening clearly within. Yun Xiaodao, Xiao Chou and XV Weilong had also been attacked by a large group of people, so they didn't have time to worry about Chen Xiang right now. They had an incomparable trust in him, and they knew that he would definitely be able to handle him. Chen Xiang, haha. You are still as arrogant as before. You think that you are invincible after learning the 10th level of the devil subduing method? Liao Xiaoyun laughed crazily. He waved both of his fists along with his maniacal laughter, becoming even more ruthless. Just when everyone thought that Chen Xiang's body was being blown away by the explosion, Chen Xiang's calm voice came out. I already said, your evil technique is not enough to deal with me. Chen Xiang bellowed, and a thick water vapor burst out, transforming into a pure white mist in the blink of an eye, purifying the evil aura that shrouded the sky. At the same time, the Xiao Yun Martial Club that had turned into ruins began to shake violently. Some parts of it had even cracked. Break! Chen Xiang's body trembled. The dragon power burst out from his body in all directions, and the golden ball of light enveloping him was instantly destroyed. Dragon power! Seeing this power, Xiao Chao's heart trembled. This kind of power was his nightmare. Liao Xiaoyun was also extremely shocked in his heart, because Chen Xiang's current strength was actually this terrifying. That pure dragon power, in particular, and an aura that caused him to feel fear, caused the evil energy in his body to instantly weaken by a few degrees. The people of the entire Youngcloud city were all stunned. Many people from the surrounding cities also dared to come over. When they found out that it was a big battle between Chen Xiang and his subordinate, they were extremely excited and shocked, as they tried to find a good spot to watch. The people of the entire Youngcloud city were all stunned. Many people from the surrounding cities also dared to come over. When they found out that it was a big battle between Chen Xiang and his subordinate, they were extremely excited and shocked, as they tried to find a good spot to watch. Chen Xiang's entire body was filled with dragon power. Any human who cultivates in the Taiji dragon-suppressed Kung Fu can cultivate the power of a dragon. Back then, Chen Xiang's master, Huang Jintian, used a full body of the terrifying dragon power to shake the entire mortal martial realm. Chen Xiang was like an awakened ancient giant dragon, its entire body emitting an ancient power. The ground trembled, the wind and clouds changed color. The dragon power in Chen Xiang's body started to churn, releasing waves after waves of growls, like the roar of a ferocious dragon. Liao Xiaoyun, let's settle this today. Chen Xiang suddenly took a step forward, and a crack appeared beneath his feet. The white dragon power shot out from under his feet, transforming into a white dragon, Rus. Hi+ing towards Liao Xiaoyun along the crack. This kind of kill dragon art was a rarity to begin with, and to be able to see someone using it was even rarer. What was most shocking was that the white dragon formed from the dragon power suddenly turned red, its entire body covered with red crystal-like scales, flames burned, its imposing manner pressing on the air. It flew out from the crevice and struck Liao Xiaoyun. Chen Xiang used the power of the Fire God Dragon Soul to strengthen the dragon power. Adding his mana usage, this power turned into a fire dragon. Liao Xiaoyun never thought that Chen Xiang could easily execute such a terrifying kill dragon art, allowing his own strength to turn into a lifelike dragon. He looked at the roaring and raging fire dragon Rus. Hi+ing towards him, terrified. Letting out an angry roar, he strengthened his aura, folded his palms together, and his entire body was covered in a golden light. A pillar of light shot out from his palm and struck the fire dragon. Liao Xiaoyun was also extremely strong. Under his full strength, he defeated the fire dragon, turning it into countless of flames that were about to break down, and scattered it amongst the ruins, igniting some of the wood. It's just a bluff. When Liao Xiaoyun saw that the fire dragon was so easily destroyed by him, he sneered. His folded palms sprayed out a beam of light at Chen Xiang, which actually said through his body and struck a hole in Chen Xiang's chest. Seeing it being so easy, everyone could not believe that Chen Xiang had been struck so easily. Liao Xiaoyun also could not believe it, and they all subconsciously thought of Chen Xiang's water mirror technique, but that was not it, because after being struck with the water mirror technique, it would turn into mist and dissipate away. However, not only did it not happen now, there was even blood flowing out from the hole on his chest. Just as Xiao Chou and the others wanted to shout in anger, Chen Xiang suddenly appeared beside them, and slapped towards Liao Xiaoyun's face. Liao Xiaoyun was already sure that Chen Xiang's chest had been pierced by him, but Chen Xiang's sudden appearance caught him off guard. Pa! Chen Xiang used the power of dragon power and the 10th layer of devil suppressing power, and gave Liao Xiaoyun a slap. After Liao Xiaoyun's delicate and tender face was slapped, the bones on her face immediately shattered. Her teeth had also shattered into many small snow-white pieces, and following that, a mouthful of blood sprayed out from Liao Xiaoyun's mouth. After striking out with his palm, Chen Xiang immediately followed up with 2 punches, with a pair of tiger skin-gloved man appearing on top of them. Killing intent surged out, enveloping the entire sky. Liao Xiaoyun was so angry that he wanted to curse, but Chen Xiang did not give him the chance. Even if he wanted to shout a few times, he could only spit out a mouthful of blood. The virtual image that Chen Xiang had released just now was created by him using the water mirror technique together with the eye concealment technique. It was extremely realistic, even if it was it would not dissipate and could be used to distract others and give the opponent a fatal blow. A series of explosions resounded in the sky once again, but this time it was Chen Xiang who released all of them. His fists were filled with the power of the 10th layer of devil suppressing power, and it was even activated using the dragon power, coordinating with the slaughter God's hand. These few waves of berserk energy gathered together and struck Liao Xiaoyun's body, and every fist was capable of cruising Liao Xiaoyun's bones and flesh into paste. Liao Xiaoyun's body suffered hundreds of punches in just a few moments. Other than his head being still considered intact, his other body had already turned into mud. He glared at Chen Xiang with eyes filled with hatred, as if he was going to be cut into pieces by Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang stepped onto his cheek and said expressionlessly, "How did you step on me back then? 30 years, east, west, 30 years. After he finished speaking, Chen Xiang used his strength and stomped his foot and shattered 2 of Liao Xiaoyun's bones, causing him to let out an extremely miserable roar of pain. TL. You. The God child is coming. Long Shui shouted. Chen Xiang gave Yun Xiaodao and the others a look and told them to leave. Previously, Chen Xiang had agreed with them that when they knew that some powerful people were going to come, they would leave quickly. The number of disciples in the famous sects who died in their hands numbered in the tens, and some of them were even students of the devil-subduing college. Chen Xiang ruthlessly trampled on Liao Xiaoyun's face. Even if he didn't kill him, he had said it before, he wouldn't let Liao Xiaoyun die too easily. Hearing Liao Xiaoyun's miserable cries, everyone's heart tensed up. Even if Chen Xiang wasn't disguised, they could still recognize him as Chen Xiang. Insolent Chen Xiang, you dare cause trouble in my devil-subduing college's territory, and even kill my devil-subduing college's elite disciples? I will definitely kill you. An imposing voice came out, a cold voice, but it was as if it was an emperor who had the power to make others submit. Within the angry voice, there was a killing intent that actually broke through Chen Xiang's released killing intent. The God child had come. This was a man dressed in a golden robe, with a jade-like face, eyebrows that were like twin swords, and eyes that were like stars. He landed gracefully in front of Chen Xiang, and his eyes that were as deep as the ocean emitted an aggressive glow as he stared at Chen Xiang like a God looking at a mortal. If it was anyone else, they would have already knelt down, but Chen Xiang was not. He continued to trample on Liao Xiaoyun's head. Let him go, I'll give you a chance to fight me, and let you die a fair and square death. Unhappiness flashed across Ji Xingren's eyes because Chen Xiang actually didn't respect him like the others. Stick, I've finally met you. Chen Xiang laughed loudly. Let's see how you will make me die so unfairly. While speaking, strength condensed under Chen Xiang's feet, the power of the 10th layer of devil-suppressing power shot out, 10 thunderclaps that shook the world resounded. Liao Xiaoyun's entire body was immediately burnt to ashes by the flames inside the devil-subduing method. I'm angry. The muscles on Ji Xingren's face twitched. Since the moment he was determined to be the God child, he had never been provoked like this. The fists that he tightly clenched released a faint gold light aura, and the golden robe on his back fluttered. The moment that aura appeared, the sky and earth changed color, the wind and clouds surged, and the earth trembled. Devil-suppressing fist. When Ji Xingren's golden fist was unleashed, the spatial tower had collapsed. The golden light on top of the fist was released, as though countless demons were struggling and roaring, and surged towards Chen Xiang. Devil-subduing method. Chen Xiang's entire body was releasing a kind of crystal-clear energy, which was as clear as water. The white dragon power on his fist merged with the transparent energy. It looked as though the dragon power was covered with a pure liquid. Seeing that transparent energy, Ji Xingren was shocked, and Chen Xiang's fist had already collided with his fist. Everyone hurriedly prepared to defend against the shockwave, but nothing happened. It was beyond their expectations, and it did not make sense. Ji Xingren trembled, the muscles on his face twitched, showing that he was extremely angry. He saw the arm he had punched just now suddenly droop, as if it had no bones and had suddenly become soft. Bone-melting magic palm. Chen Xiang used this devil art once again, and melted away the bones in Ji Xingren's arm. Ji Xingren was truly worthy of his titli as the God child. Being valued highly by the heaven realm, Chen Xiang already had a surge of power rampaging through his body. If not for him relying on the Taiji dragon-suppressed kung fu to deal with the berserk power that was entering his body, he would have exploded on the spot. Ji Xingren was truly worthy of his tli as the God child. Being valued highly by the heaven realm, Chen Xiang already had a surge of power rampaging through his body. If not for him relying on the Taiji dragon-suppressed kung fu to deal with the berserk power that was entering his body, he would have exploded on the spot. This sort of insignificant skill cannot scare me. Ji Xingren waved his other hand and was about to attack Chen Xiang, but at this time, a few elders suddenly appeared. They stood behind Ji Xingren and were extremely aggressive. With just one look at their clothes, it was obvious that they were devil-subduing college's elders. Chen Xiang's old friend Zhou Jinxuan also felt that he did not have much power in the devil-subduing college, but because he was strong, he could intimidate these elders. Not long after, Chen Xiang saw his familiar face. Man Futian, the new prince. 1. Al had also come. He tried his best to distance himself from Chen Xiang, because he knew that Chen Xiang was not someone to be trifled with. The people standing behind Ji Xingren were all experts that had endured the 7th and 8th tribulations of the Nirvana stage, but Chen Xiang was not afraid at all. Although his strength was far from theirs, these people did not dare to rashly act against Chen Xiang, because it was a matter of the younger generation. What is it? You need help now? Chen Xiang sneered. The spectators ran as far as they could as soon as they saw the old man from Devil Subduing College. If these old fellows from the Nirvana stage were to fight, the consequences would be unimaginable. The crowd found it hard to understand why Chen Xiang, who was not even at Nirvana stage, would have such confidence when facing this group of old fellows. Any one of these old fellows could kill him with a wave of their hand. Chen Xiang, you need to know that this city is protected by our devil-subduing college. Not only did you destroy the Shao Yun Martial Club here, you even killed the elite student of our devil-subduing college. One of the clan elders pointed at Chen Xiang and bellowed. It's not like you guys don't know the grudge between me and Liao Xiaoyun. I came to find him for revenge. It's normal for something like this to happen. This city received your protection, but why would my friend be injured by Liao Xiaoyun here and have one of his arms destroyed? Chen Xiang looked coldly at the old man and said loudly, Moreover, this is the territory of our mortal martial realm, and your devil-subduing college is only from the outside. And just now, someone said that this Ji child used his strength to do many shady things. Don't slander me, Ji Xingren immediately shouted. Chen Xiang laughed coldly. I have just learned a mysterious technique called the Heart Demon Oath, which is similar to a blood contract. As long as you swear an oath with your heart, saying that you have never done those shameful things and did not find the Heart Demon Oath and died back at you, then you will be spitting blood on me. Do you dare to come? Chen Xiang asked. Nonsense, I am an honest man, I have never done anything before, there is no need for these evil arts to prove that. Ji Xingren did not admit it even if he died. This was also within Chen Xiang's expectations. Chen Xiang looked at the expressions of the few clan elders. He could feel that these elders did not know of the shameful things that Ji Xingren did, but when Ji Xingren had made the mental vow, these elders had a strange expression on their faces. Ji Xingren had also realized this, then he had never heard of inner demon oath in the heaven realm. He had suspected that Chen Xiang had deliberately made it up to scare him, but he was worried that it was real. When he swore the Heart Demon Oath, he might even die because of it. You keep slandering me again and again, I definitely won't let you off today. Ji Xingren was suddenly enraged, her handsome face was filled with anger, her entire body releasing a burst of oppressive aura, looking somewhat like Od of death. Chen Xiang clenched his fist. He was already prepared to fight, and Ji Xingren had also realized that he could not use one arm, so his strength would definitely be greatly reduced. Furthermore, the anti-demon martial arts tournament was about to begin soon, and at that time, he would need to display his skills in the tournament to make himself famous, and then use the resources held by the devil-subduing college, to become the person with the greatest authority in the mortal Kung Fu realm. Originally, W.A.N. Ji Xingren wanted to become famous after defeating Chen Xiang, but the way he saw it now, Chen Xiang's strength had far surpassed his expectations. In order for him to obtain the first place in the martial arts tournament, he definitely could not let Chen Xiang partake. 1. P8 in it, and the best way would be to kill Chen Xiang. 4 great elders seized Chen Xiang. W.A.N. Ji Xingren shouted coldly, his eyes filled with pride. Chen Xiang couldn't help but sigh in disappointment. This God child had truly disappointed him, to actually do such a thing that showed off his weakness and lowered his own worth. Just as the 4 elders were about to make a move, a burst of loud laughter came from afar. The God child is only mediocre. How can he submit to others? After that, an extraordinarily handsome youth flew over from afar. When Chen Xiang heard the voice, he immediately knew that it was Gu Dongchen, who had already sensed that Gu Dongchen was nearby. Thus Chen Xiang was fearless. The moment Gu Dongchen appeared, he patted Chen Xiang's shoulders and laughed. "Good job, junior martial uncle. I haven't seen you for more than a month, but you can actually get your hands on a relive Dan. How much of this do you have left?" Hearing Gu Dongchen's question, W.A.N. Ji Xingren's face turned extremely ugly, because his head was now at the tip of the relive Dan, and it was causing many rankers to be restless. They often wandered around devil-subduing college, making him feel threatened like never before. Thinking about how so many people had come for the sake of just one relive Dan and want his, God child's head, W.A.N. Ji Xingren's heart was filled with rage. His head was actually only worth one relive Dan. But he had to admit, the relive Dan here had indeed made many strong warriors take action. If Chen Xiang had more pills, he would definitely be in danger. Chen Xiang laughed. "There aren't many, but it's enough to buy the heads of 4 people." When he spoke, he looked towards the 4 elders. Relive Danes were the divine medicine used to cultivate nirvana doom, so the amount of herbs needed to be refined was very low in the mortal martial realm, and even with the herbs there would have to be someone capable of refining them. Alchemists who knew how to refine relive Dan were not many in the mortal martial realm, but the most famous were the Dan Fragrance Pure Land's Hua Xiangyue and the Super Martial School's Elder Dan. However, these 2 alchemists seemed to have a very good relations, Hi+P with Chen Xiang. Otherwise, it would be impossible for Chen Xiang to squander so many relive Dan in his hands. "Let's go, Super Martial School. Don't forget yourselves, there will be a day when you will be trampled by us." Now, he was not afraid of exposing his ambition. As long as it was a powerhouse above mortal martial realm, they would be able to guess the purpose of devil-subduing college and fire divine palace coming to mortal martial realm. C675. C675 Gu Dongchen brought Chen Xiang to another city. Yun Xiaodao and the others were also there, and when they saw that Chen Xiang had returned, they heaved a sigh of relief. At that time, not only would the warriors spar with each other, they would also gather together to discuss the memories of how they would resist the demons. That was why Gu Dongchen was here. Inside the residence rented by Gu Dongchen, Chen Xiang and the others were sitting in a hall, talking about what had happened today. "Leader, what kind of shameful things did W.A.N. Ji Xingren do? How many years has he been capturing?" Yun Xiaodao asked, and they all came from remote continents. Chen Xiang said, "Furthermore, he was hiding it from the rest of the old guys in the devil-subduing college. Seems like he has captured quite a few of them and specifically made Liao Xiaoyun and the others do things for him." Gu Dongchen's face sank as he said, "There are also hundreds of youths mysteriously disappearing in the super martial city, and the majority of them are still in remote mountains. If we find out that it was W.A.N. Ji Xingren who did it, we won't spare him. This fellow's ambition is really great. He actually wants to unify mortal martial realm. Right now, even Fire Divine Palace thinks that it won't be that easy. XV Weilong laughed coldly. It seems like Fire Divine Palace's Hall Master has changed. I wonder what will happen next. Gu Dongchen said, the three of you go back to Super Martial School. If one of you partic 1p Atesh in SMAs. HI plusing that Xiao Yun Martial Club, Devil Subduing College will definitely not let you off. Xiao Cho stuck out his tongue. He really wanted to see how his master defeated W. A.N. Ji Xingren, but they could not disobey Gu Dongchen. In order to ensure their safety, Gu Dongchen sent them into the transmission array. In the morning, when Gu Dongchen came out of his room in a hurry with his disguise, he asked, "Where are you going? It's best that you be a bit more careful. You have already completely offended the Devil Subduing College, even though they don't dare to openly cause trouble for you, for fear that they might have secretly attacked you." Chen Xiang curled his lips and said, "I must attend the Demon Subduing Tournament. I wonder if this W.A.N. Ji Xingren will stop me from registering." "Young senior uncle, that whatever White Dragon Blood Dan is useless to you, right? Is there a need to take such a risk?" Gu Dongchen sighed and asked. "What a great use. You'll know in the future. I'm leaving." Chen Xiang left from the back door, and after confirming that no one was following them, he walked towards the Devil Subduing College. Was very familiar with this Devil Subduing College. He stood on the high wall outside and looked at a very tall stone tower. After a while, he left and went to a nearby hotel, as if he was waiting for someone. Just now, Chen Xiang was outside the Devil Subduing College, sending a message to Zhuo Jinchuan, who replied him, asking him to wait here. Although he was the Prink 1p Al of Devil Subduing College, Chen Xiang still trusted him a lot. Chen Xiang could be said to be Zhuo Jinchuan's benefactor, so of course Zhuo Jinchuan would not sell Chen Xiang out. "Kid, the trouble you're causing this time is really big. W.A.N. Ji Xingren has already sent the news to Heaven Realm. I think it won't be long before Heaven Realm sends more people over." Zhuo Jinchuan's face was extremely serious and worried. Heaven Realm's devil-suppressing divine palace is very powerful and they value the divine child a lot, so they did not hesitate to use up a lot of resources to open that large-scale transmission array and transfer their people over. The people who were sent down were obviously from the Nirvana stage, and there were a lot of them there. Chen Xiang finally understood why Zhuo Jinchuan was so worried. "Elder Zhuo, is that W.A.N. Ji Xingren not allowing me to register to partic 1p8 in the Demon Subduing Martial Arts Compet 1 Tian?" Chen Xiang asked. Zhuo Jinchuan nodded. "That's for sure, his strength is already a threat to him. He definitely cannot be defeated by you at that time." Chen Xiang sneered, then lowered his voice. "Help me send a message to him. If he registers for me, and obtains first place in the Devil Slayer Martial Arts Compet 1 Tians, I will tell him about the matters concerning the Sacred Dan Realm." Hearing the two words, Sacred Dan Realm, Zhuo Jinchuan trembled, because the higher-ups of the Devil Subduing College knew that the God children were currently looking for a way to go to the Sacred Dan Realm. "That day, I won against Fan Yakan, who came from the Sacred Dan Realm, and moreover, became friends with Fan Yakan. Tell him all this, and he definitely needs me to sign up for the compet 1 Tian." Chen Xiang said with complete confidence. "Only I know where Fan Yakan is, and he also knows how to return to Sacred Dan Realm. If W.A.N. Ji Xingren doesn't want to miss this chance, he knows what he should do." Back then, Zhuo Jinchuan was the one who told Chen Xiang that he was looking for the devil-suppressing blood, and the devil-suppressing blood was right inside the Sacred Dan Realm. If W.A.N. Ji Xingren knew about this, he would definitely agree to Chen Xiang's conditions, because it would allow him to inherit the devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable's bloodline. But now, no matter how W.A.N. Ji Xingren searched, He could never find the devil-suppressing blood, because it had already been obtained by Chen Xiang. "All right, I'll help you pass." The message to him. "When you register, try to find me when it's almost time to end," Zhuo Jinshuan said. After Chen Xiang and Zhuo Jinshuan left the hotel, each of them left. Chen Xiang, on the other hand, stepped into a forest and used a spatial gate to teleport him to the Chen martial continent. I wonder if elder sister Menger and the rest have obtained anything from their cultivation? Chen Xiang was now in the forest outside of Fragrant City. A month ago, he gave Lu Menger and Hua Xiangyue some bewitchment, and most of it were bewitching skills used in devil-subduing college. Chen Xiang walked over and asked, "Little naughty dragon, is it very difficult to obtain white dragon blood, Dan?" "Of course, there aren't many white dragons. It is said that if you consume too many dragon bloodlines, you will be able to obtain the dragon bloodline. To that God's rod, it is also a very precious item," Long Shui said. After Chen Xiang entered the Dan Fragrance Pure Land, he did not find Lu Menger and the others because they were not here. "Young Master Shin, are you looking for the leader as well?" Mrs. Li saw a disappointed look on his face as he was strolling around Dan Fragrance Pure Land. He sighed and said, "Sigh, leader has not come back yet. I was looking for him too." Chen Xiang was already very familiar with Mrs. Li, so he asked, "What important matter do you need to find her for?" Mrs. Li nodded his head. "Over 10 days ago, a group of people suddenly came to Dan Fragrance Pag. Oh, it seems like they are here to intentionally cause trouble, but they did it in an excessive manner. They were just mocking us for not having some better pills, or the alchemist, and the pills they buy are mostly fire type, so they are extremely rare. We can sell some to them, but we need to keep some for ourselves." "Who are these people? I might be able to help you deal with it and take me to meet them." Chen Xiang was suddenly very curious. "I don't know where they came from, but there's a young man from Nirvana stage among them. They have been wanting to see leader all this while, but right now I don't know where he has gone to, so I told them the truth, but they said that the leader looked down on them, and wasn't willing to see him." Sigh. Mrs. Li was very helpless. "I don't know where they came from, but there's a young man from Nirvana stage among them. They have been wanting to see leader all this while, but right now I don't know where he has gone to, so I told them the truth, but they said that the leader looked down on them, and wasn't willing to see him." Sigh. Mrs. Li was very helpless. Chen Xiang smiled and said, "I am the Dan Fragrance Pure Land's honorary alchemist, let me give it a try." Mrs. Li naturally knew that the relations Hi+P between Chen Xiang and herself was very good. She could only look at Chen Xiang now. "They do not have any hostility towards us, but they are somewhat dissatisfied with Dan Fragrance Pure Land. Young Master Shin, please wait a while and do not have any conflicts with them. Over the past few days they have bought quite a few medicinal pellets, which can be considered our big customer, but they are a bit difficult to deal with." The Mrs. Li naturally knew about Chen Xiang's actions and style, which was why she kept warning him. On the 5th floor of the Dan Fragrance Pag, several young men dressed in luxurious clothing were sitting in a hall. When they saw the Mrs. Li arrive, they hurriedly stood up and appeared to be very courteous. However, when they did not see Hua Xiangyue, their faces could not help but reveal expressions of disappointment and anger. "I really don't know where our leader has gone to. She must be in seclusion, I hope everyone understands," the Mrs. Li hastily said. "Forget it, just treat it as us coming here for nothing." A man with average looks, yet with the demeanor of a king said. Chen Xiang could tell with a glance that he was an expert from the Nirvana stage. "However, our Dan Fragrance Pure Land's first honorary alchemist has come. He is also here to look for us, it's just that the leader is not here." Mrs. Li looked at Chen Xiang and said. In order to not attract attention, Chen Xiang had stealthily released a bit of qi, allowing others to see that he was a 100 refining realm warrior, but when the 5 of them saw Chen Xiang, they all had faces of disdain. The man from the Nirvana stage said gently. Forget it, I won't bother you guys anymore. To be honest, we are here to find your leader. I think only she is worthy to talk to us. Those who frequent the mortal martial realm knew that the Dan Fragrance Pure Land's first honorary alchemist was Chen Xiang, and Chen Xiang's alchemy skills were famous throughout the mortal martial realm. Although he was not a high-ranking alchemist yet, many people still thought highly of him. However, these people seemed to have never heard of this matter, so Chen Xiang guessed that they were people that rarely walked out, or that they came from another world. I heard from the Mrs. Li that you all need a large amount of fire-type medicinal pills, right? Chen Xiang asked. He did not lack these kind of pellets. He wanted a lot of the profound yang fire Dan's refining ingredient. Not bad, but your Dan Fragrance Pure Land has disappointed us greatly, the man said. Chen Xiang laughed. Relax, I definitely won't let you all down. I'm just worried that you guys might not have enough spars to buy the fire-type pellets that I have. What kind of good pills do you have? Although we are lacking fire-type pills, we are still an alchemist. Don't think that we can be fooled as we please. The man was slightly angry, because Chen Xiang actually thought that they couldn't afford the pills. Chen Xiang was now certain that these people came from another world and were definitely lacking in fire-attributed medicinal ingredients. They were alchemists, so in order to improve, they naturally had to leave that world to find them. What do you think this is worth? Chen Xiang took out a burning lotus seed. This was the fire dragon blood lotus seed that he had won back then, and like the white jade lotus seed, it was a high-grade ground-level medicinal ingredient. However, its use was not as good as the white jade lotus seeds, because the white jade lotus seed could heal injuries. As long as it was an ordinary world, the high-grade medicines in the ground level were extremely rare, especially for those worlds that lacked fire attribute medicines. These fire dragon blood lotus seeds were incomparably precious. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu had once said that some worlds were worlds with uneven elements, or those that favored water and fire. That was why there were some medicinal ingredients that were lacking. As expected, when Chen Xiang took out the fire dragon blood lotus seed, the five people's eyes were completely glued to it. This could be said to be the best fire attribute medicinal ingredient that they had ever seen. Blood lotus seed of the fire dragon. How could you have such a thing? The man took a deep breath and stared at the fiery red lotus seeds held in Chen Xiang's fingers. Chen Xiang laughed. Good eye, but this thing is also very valuable here. It will not be sold casually, it will usually be sold by auction. Of course, I do not lack spar, so I will not sell such precious things, you all should understand that. The man nodded his head, that's right. If it were us, we wouldn't sell it so easily. However, we really need this kind of medicine right now. In that case, how about we sit down and talk now? Chen Xiang laughed. The Mrs. Li heaved a sigh of relief, and quickly poured tea for Chen Xiang and the five other people. My name is Chen Xiang. I think you all aren't from mortal martial realm, right? Chen Xiang said. The others did not say a word, but only the man from Nirvana stage replied. My name is Tai Ming. I did not expect you to be so young, but your ability is not bad. You are the first one to see that we are not from this world. Just as Mrs. Li had said, these people had no ill intentions. Chen Xiang said, I don't have many fire dragon blood lotus seeds. If you guys want them, then exchange them with me using items of the same value. If we cooperate happily, I also have some finished products of the fire attribute in my hands, which I can exchange with you guys. Chen Xiang was not lacking in spar now. He just wanted to collect a few rare medicinal ingredients and duplicate them in large quantities. Once he knew a lot of rare pills, what would he want then? Tai Ming frowned as he thought about it. This kind of trade was also very common. He was only thinking of what he could use to exchange for it. Do you know what this is? Tai Ming took out a fist-sized, transparent pearl that flickered with a hint of purple lightning. After Su Meiyao saw it, he immediately said, Lehun fruit, this thing is a strange fruit, it can grow a thunder soul, but it will take a very long time, but your creation divine liquid can solve this problem. Su Meiao's voice became very excited. Try to trade for this as much as possible. You must know that Thunder Soul are rarer than Fire Soul. Chen Xiang was shocked in his heart. There was actually such a heaven-opposing tree that could grow Thunder Soul. Lehun fruit, you want to exchange for it with this? Chen Xiang's expression did not change as he said indifferently. This is a completely mature purple Lehun fruit. We used a Thunder Soul to exchange for it. If you don't agree, then forget it. Tai Ming said. His heart was nervous, because this was the most precious thing in their hands. They were alchemists, and fusing with the Fire Soul would only affect their flames and cause them to become unstable. Therefore, they would definitely not fuse them. Since everyone has come from afar, I do not wish to disappoint you. Let's exchange then. Chen Xiang walked forward and handed the Fire Dragon Blood Lotus Seed over. To be able to exchange the Fire Dragon Blood Lotus Seed for a Lehun fruit, he had profited greatly. Originally, Chen Xiang had planned to continue the trade with this group of people because he had obtained the Lehun fruit with a Fire Dragon Blood Lotus Seed and tasted the sweetness. However, after Tai Ming received the Blood Lotus Seed, he hurriedly left, making Chen Xiang feel that it was a great pity. Originally, Chen Xiang had planned to continue the trade with this group of people because he had obtained the Lehun fruit with a Fire Dragon Blood Lotus Seed and tasted the sweetness. However, after Tai Ming received the Blood Lotus Seed, he hurriedly left, making Chen Xiang feel that it was a great pity. Before Tai Ming left, he said that he would return, but he did not know when. Lu Menger and Hua Xiangyue both had to prepare to cross Nirvana Doom, so it was normal for them to not be able to be found. Chen Xiang just felt that it was a little disappointing not to see these two beauties. Continent of the King, Devil-Subduing College. Chen Xiang stood outside the wall and used his consciousness to communicate with Zhuo Zhenxuan who was inside. As he expected, the God child was extremely concerned about the devil-suppressing blood inside the sacred Dan realm. Chen Xiang. Just as Chen Xiang arrived at the place where the Devil-Subduing College was registering at, he heard a sweet voice come from behind him. He turned his head to look, and saw a sweet girl wearing a blue dress standing there, looking at him mischievously. It was the Blue Blood Race's Lon Lon. Hee. Right now you're like a street rat scared to death. You have to dress up like this even if you want to announce your name. Lon Lon laughed as she skipped to the front of Chen Xiang and made a face at him. This time I definitely have to beat you, just you wait. Although she looked like a cute little beauty, she was actually hundreds of years old. Aside from her attractive face and the big rabbit on her chest, many male animals couldn't help but stare at her. Little girl, you won't be able to beat me in this life. If you're on the bed, you might have a chance. Long Shui imitated Chen Xiang's voice, and laughed in an extremely evil tone. After Lon Lon heard it, her body trembled and she suddenly turned her head. She did not get angry, but her face was puffed up and she scolded, "Scoundrel, you deserve to be wanted." Seeing Lon Lon twisting her T and going to register, Chen Xiang scolded Long Shui in a low voice. "Little naughty dragon, you're jealous of Lon Lon, even though her chest is not as big as yours." Long Shui scoffed. "No matter how big her chest is, I won't let you touch her, but can I?" "Really?" Long Shui's beautiful chest suddenly appeared in his mind. "You wish." Long Shui chuckled. "If you want to touch me, you have to beat me no matter what." Chen Xiang curled his lips and also walked into the residence. Although the registration was about to close, there were still many people who came. After entering, Chen Xiang found another familiar lady, but the lady did not recognize him. "Little cat demon's body is getting better and better." Long Shui imitated Chen Xiang's voice and shouted loudly. His tone was extremely light, sounding just like those hooligans who would take liberties with women on the street. There were many people in the house, but after hearing the voice, they all anxiously turned their heads to look at Chen Xiang, who was now a middle-aged uncle, and all of them revealed looks of disdain towards him. Chen Xiang was extremely innocent, because he didn't say anything. Long Shui had only teased him on purpose, but anything he said now was of no use. "Who are you?" A tall girl wearing a red dress with a charming appearance came in front of Chen Xiang. "This bad guy is Chen Xiang. His head is very precious, everyone hurry up and attack." Lon Lon laughed. Chen Xiang was in existence who was like a fiend right now, although there were people who wanted to take his head. They were not many, and many of them kept their distance. "Miss Yen, long time no see. I didn't expect your strength to improve so quickly." Chen Xiang laughed. This woman was the Beast Martial School's #1 beauty. Yen Yenran had been beaten up by Chen Xiang ruthlessly, but she was not injured much. At that time, she had left a cat-like paw print on Chen Xiang's palm, so Long Shui had called her little cat demon. "Of course, I will always remember you as well. This is the first time you have used such a barbaric method to beat me up." After speaking, Yen Yenran's voice revealed a hidden bitterness, blaming Chen Xiang for not knowing how to show mercy to the fair heiress. "Ex." Chen Xiang laughed. "It's not like we're fighting on the bed, of course there's no need for you to be so gentle." Lon Lon and Yen Yenran were both girls blessed by the heavens who had been defeated by Chen Xiang, and regarding Chen Xiang's strength, their memories were still fresh in them. Furthermore, their attacks were extremely ruthless, and even though they said that they would defeat Chen Xiang, they did not want to face Chen Xiang at all. "You are Chen Xiang? He really is a disreputable guy. To be able to utter such vulgar words to such a beautiful person." Chen Xiang turned around and saw a man dressed in fiery red gorgeous clothes standing at the door. This man looked very elegant and had a very handsome appearance. "I wonder if Miss would like to have a meal with me?" the man said. "I don't have time." Yen Yenran threw him an apologetic smile. Chen Xiang curled his lips and said, "He's someone from the Fire Divine Palace, you really aren't giving him any face, right? Of course, this kind of guy is originally shameless and specializes in robbing others' fire soul, and he even says that it's a righteous act. What face do they have left?" The man was dressed in the Fire Divine Palace, and from the fire chi on his body, he must be someone who possessed a fire soul. Chen Xiang had never heard of him before, so he guessed that the man must have come from the heaven realm. "Chen Xiang, do you believe that I will take your head off right now and exchange it for some bounty?" The man was immediately enraged. He took off his robe, and from the looks of it, he was planning to fight Chen Xiang to the death. "I believe you, then what?" Chen Xiang was not one bit afraid of this guy. It was not like he had never killed anyone from the Fire Divine Palace before, and he had even killed quite a few of them, and they were all important people. "You guys quiet down for a bit. Don't affect the registration of others. If you continue making trouble, I'll throw you guys out." An old man shouted coldly and released a wave of pressure. "Chen Xiang, you are slandering our Fire Divine Palace. I, Ling Chong, am a member of the Fire Divine Palace, so I will definitely not let you off." The man put down the harsh words and walked over to register. Chen Xiang was looking at his back, estimating his fire soul. One must know that Chen Xiang had grasped the method to extract fire soul. In his eyes, Ling Chong was a huge fortune, just that this man called Ling Chong did not know that he was treated like a big piece of meat. After the registration was completed, Chen Xiang left in a hurry under the gazes of many. He silently cursed Lon Lon and Long Shui, the two brainless brats, and made himself the target of others. After Chen Xiang left the devil-subduing college, what he found unexpected was that Lon Lon and Yen Yenran actually followed behind him. Although the method they used to follow him was brilliant, they were still discovered by Long Shui's powerful divine sense. After Chen Xiang left the devil-subduing college, what he found unexpected was that Lon Lon and Yen Yenran actually followed behind him. Although the method they used to follow him was brilliant, they were still discovered by Long Xue's powerful divine sense. Did you see that? Hurry up and thank this dragon, and let you obtain the favor of these two beauties. That little cat demon did not even put the Fire Divine Palace's people in her eyes, but she still secretly followed you. This is all my credit. Long Xue said proudly. Don't be so smug. Perhaps they have their eyes on my head. Even if they have their eyes on me, that is still my personal charm. What does it have to do with you, a troublemaker? Chen Xiang increased his pace and traveled back and forth the street. However, he was still unable to shake off Lan Lan and his pursuers. In the end, he arrived at the entrance of Gu Dongchen's residence and sat there. He knew that these two women would not follow him just because they had their eyes on him. You've followed me for so long, what do you have to say for yourself? Chen Xiang locked on to them and transmitted sound. Lan Lan and Yen Yanran immediately appeared and walked over. What surprised Chen Xiang was that Lan Lan and Yen Yanran actually knew each other. Although they came from two different directions, they did not look at each other with surprise. We're fine. We're just worried that your head will be chopped off. Lan Lan stuck out his tongue and laughed. Yen Yanran smiled gently. Is it convenient to talk here? The door suddenly opened, revealing Gu Dongchen in front of Yen Yanran and Lan Lan, scaring the little beauty who recognized Gu Dongchen, the number 1 type. OON in Super Martial School. It's convenient to speak, come in. Gu Dongchen couldn't help but pout his lips when he saw Chen Xiang hooking up with these two beauties. Inside the hall, Lan Lan and Yen Yanran bowed to Gu Dongchen very politely. However, it was Chen Xiang who knocked his legs and asked, "You've followed me for so long, it can't be that you want to protect me, right?" "Of course not." Lan Lan's voice was loud just now, but he immediately realized that Gu Dongchen was here. "If it's inconvenient, then I'll just avoid it." "Ancient leader, please wait. This matter can be said to have something to do with you," Yen Yanran anxiously said. Gu Dongchen and Chen Xiang were both shocked as Gu Dongchen also sat down at the same time. Yen Yanran said with a stern face, "You may not know this, but many of us sects have secretly teamed up and signed agreements that they are not enemies, and they have even helped each other. Only the core members of the forces will know about this, and we will also frequently meet and train." Lan Lan nodded his head. Mainly speaking, two forces of the continent of the king are leading the alliance. One is our Azure Blood clan, and the other is the Wu clan manor. Every one of them knew of their true strength, and now they had secretly formed an alliance with some sects, and the agreement they had was also very good. It could be seen that they were planning something. Yen Yanran continued. But the Super Martial School is within the Chen Martial Continent and has made enemies with many sections. And because of Chen Xiang in the future, he will definitely provoke many powers. Wait, this is someone provoking me first. Chen Xiang interrupted her. Gu Dongchen said, "I understand this point, our Super Martial School is very strong as a whole, so naturally we are not afraid of the Fire Divine Palace and Fire Divine Palace harming us, but those small forces might not be able to do it. If the Wu and Blue Blood race did not make the first move, those small forces would probably surrender to the Fire Divine Palace and the Devil Subduing College." Lan Lan and Yen Yanran nodded. Qin Zijuan, this guy, together with a group of important elders from the Sacred Light religious sect, have disappeared for a long time, and the situation has not changed. The East Sea has already turned into a piece of loose sand, but from the looks of it, most of their forces have already secretly allied with you guys. Gu Dongchen seemed to have known about this already. Lan Lan nodded his head. My Blue Blood race and the Wu family do not have the heart to dominate them. We do so to ensure that our mortal martial realm is not swallowed by any other power, and now that we are in a difficult situation, as the mortal martial realm is one of the more powerful families, we have to take care of those small powers. The current Lan Lan had a whole new level of respect for him. He said, "In the Chen Martial Continent, is it possible that only us Super Martial School do not join your alliance?" There are no divine weapons Heavenly Country S, Dan Fragrance Pure Land S, Lotus Island S, or Super Martial School S. As for the rest, including the demonic sects, they have already allied themselves with us. Yen Yenran said. Then why did you come to find us? Gu Dongchen laughed. Even if the 4 strongest sects in the Chen martial continent didn't need to ally with each other, they would still help each other, because they had a good relations. H+P with each other over the years, so the strength of the Chen martial continent was also very strong in the mortal martial realm. Yen Yenran sighed. Super Martial School has mastered the most powerful martial arts, and has a very deep foundation in martial arts. Dan Fragrance Pure Land has mastered pills, Divine Weapons Heavenly Country has grasped weapons, Lotus Island has grasped a large amount of spar and rare ores. It can be said that if the 4 of you were to join hands, you would definitely become a strong force in mortal martial realm, and what you have grasped is also something our alliance lacks. Lan Lan said in a low voice, the 2 strongest female alchemists are both at your place. Furthermore, you can give any relive Dan you like. After saying that, she shot a glance at Chen Xiang, because everyone knew that Chen Xiang was the one who used a relive Dan to place a bounty on that God child's head. In the mortal martial realm, even the Hidden Alliance would not dare to do such a thing, so they could not do such a thing. Gu Dongchen laughed. So, you want to rope us into your alliance, or do you want us to give you some resources? It is naturally for the best to have you all join us. However, we are afraid that you all might be powerful and unwilling to protect those small powers. Lan Lan sighed. Gu Dongchen said seriously, if our super martial school were to join, I'm afraid that it would implicate you all. You all are seeking for peace, and if others did not offend you, you all would not retaliate, right? Lan Lan and Yen Yenran both nodded. Yes. But our super martial school is different. Forces like the Fire Divine Palace and the Devil Subduing College, as long as they make the slightest of movements, we the super martial school will not hesitate to destroy them. Gu Dongchen's voice turned incomparably stern. Recently, we have been investigating the disappearance of a large number of young men. This might very well be related to the God child of the Devil Subduing College. Also, the Fire Divine Palace cultivate fire as their leader. They will not hesitate to plunder resources that are useful to their cultivation. Sooner or later, we will kill this kind of guy. Then it looks like we won't be able to ally with you. Lan Lan sighed. The alliance is hopeless now, but you can do business here. Aren't you just pills and weapons? I will have the people from the Divine Weapons Heavenly Country and the Dan Fragrance Pure Land go and talk to you guys. Chen Xiang laughed. Of course, I also have some pills with me. If you guys can afford it, I can sell it to you guys too. Gu Dongchen shook his head. If you agree to publicize the alliance, my super martial school will agree to an alliance. I don't want to do things sneakily, and only if I let my Fire Divine Palace and my master know about this, will they be afraid of us and not dare to do such a thing. There were many different continents and many different forces. It was very difficult to gather all of them, and no one was willing to submit to anyone, but now that the great war between 3 realms was about to begin, many small powers had agreed to temporarily form an alliance and rely on the protection of the large powers to tide through this difficult situation, so it was an opportunity. There were many different continents and many different forces. It was very difficult to gather all of them, and no one was willing to submit to anyone, but now that the great war between 3 realms was about to begin, many small powers had agreed to temporarily form an alliance and rely on the protection of the large powers to tide through this difficult situation, so it was an opportunity. It was just that as a leader, Gu Dongchen had other concerns, but now he could see that this alliance was very weak, because they were all small powers that did things in fear and trepidation. If they could have a large power like the Super Martial School or the Dan Fragrance Pure Land, then the other mid-ranked powers would all join as well. Go back and tell those old fellows, if there's anything you want to discuss, talk to us. I guarantee that if our super martial school joins your alliance, both Dan Fragrance Pure Land and Dan Fragrance Pure Land will join as well. Gu Dongchen said. Lon Lon and Yen Yenran nodded. They could not make the decision for this kind of thing, they could only return and report. After they left, Chen Xiang laughed. A lad, how can you be so confident that you can make Divine Weapons Heavenly Country and Dan Fragrance Pure Land join us? Gu Dongchen smiled ambiguously. Junior Marshal Uncle, don't tell me you want me to tell you what happened? You've taken care of these two women. It should be easy for you to speak out. Don't talk about this, it will kill me. Chen Xiang said seriously. Gu Dongchen also nodded seriously. Junior Master, the Devil Subduing College has recruited many outstanding disciples. After they entered, they were all kept by the Devil Subduing College, and many disciples of our Super Martial School have gone in and have never returned. Even if they come back, they would be displeased with our fellow disciples. Didn't you just learn a few anti-demon martial arts from the Devil Subduing College? What was there to be proud of? I learned Devil Subduing Method at the 10th level. Chen Xiang sneered. Don't think that everyone is like you, or that the might of the Devil Subduing Method is very enticing, but outsiders have a hard time learning it, so they keep on running towards the Devil Subduing College. Gu Dongchen sighed. There are many old fellows in my super martial school who are now obsessed with this Devil Subduing Method. Chen Xiang touched his chin, considering whether he should announce the method to quickly learn Devil Subduing Method. At that time the Devil Subduing College would not be so attractive. Oh right, a lad, I have a way to solve this problem, but you have to look for my master. Chen Xiang patted his shoulder and laughed. I have learnt Devil Subduing Method from Master. He said that he can find simpler cultivation methods based on the Taiji Dragon suppressed Kung Fu. Hearing that he was going to look for Huang Jintian, Gu Dongchen's face suddenly turned bitter. Junior Martial Uncle, your bones are rather cheap, you should go. Gu Dongchen laughed bitterly. This old lunatic has learnt quite a bit, but every time he goes there, he uses this Devil Subduing Method on me. Chen Xiang looked at him in disdain, and could only look for Huang Jintian himself. Inside the super martial profound realm, Huang Jintian saw Chen Xiang and excitedly grabbed his shoulders. When he saw that Huang Jintian was about to attack, Chen Xiang anxiously shouted, Master, stop messing around, I have something important to do, if you beat me up, you will definitely regret it. What's the hurry? Who told you to grow your skills so fast like GRA? I'll test you first. Huang Jintian said while smiling, a wave of energy condensed in his palm. Master, I made a trip to Sacred Dan Realm. After hearing what Chen Xiang said, Huang Jintian stopped. His face became serious as he said, Don't lie to me. I won't lie to you. I've already gained quite a bit from that place. Chen Xiang said while grinning. After Huang Jintian put him down, he began to listen to what Chen Xiang had to say about the things above, and very quickly, he believed it because he knew some things about the place. Of course, Chen Xiang concealed some hair-raising things that he did not tell him, because he felt that it was difficult for Huang Jintian to believe those things. Brat, you're promising. Huang Jintian lovingly caressed Chen Xiang's head and smiled. It won't be long before you go to Heaven Realm to find your big brother. Chen Xiang laughed. Master, these are Devil Subduing College's demonic techniques, you can learn them if you find it boring. This was a set of powerful anti-demon martial arts. If it was an ordinary person, it would be very difficult to learn this art, but Huang Jintian was well versed in it, so learning it wouldn't be difficult. Alright, this is the Devil Subduing Method that I modified. You take it and let a lad and the others learn it. If they want to learn it themselves, I wonder how long it will take for them to learn it? Huang Jintian handed over a thick book to Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang flipped it over and exclaimed, 10th floor! Master, you've learned level 10? Huang Jintian laughed. How long will it take? If I wasn't as fast as you, how would I be your master? However, there is still a 11th layer to it. However, it will be very difficult to piece together some of the Pa-S sages from the mental cultivation method. Chen Xiang nodded and told Huang Jintian about what he had learned from cultivating the 11th floor, which surprised him quite a bit. Not bad, your progress is much faster than mine. If you learn the great perfection, then your power will definitely be very strong. Hurry up and get lost, I don't want to disturb my cultivation. After Huang Jintian obtained all those things, he quickly immersed himself within them. Chen Xiang heaved a sigh of relief and quickly left, going to look for Gu Dongchen. Right now, not only the devil-subduing method had been spread out, even the devil-suppressing qi was extremely profound. Without the large amount of cultivation guidance from the devil-subduing college as well as the guidance from a few elders, it was very difficult to learn it. However, Chen Xiang had the basics of devil-suppressing kung fu and a large amount of divine arts. These were all easy for him, but all he needed was time. Gu Dongchen did not expect Chen Xiang to return so quickly. He asked curiously, "You did not go to find that crazy old man? This doesn't make sense. He actually didn't use you to practice." Chen Xiang tossed a thick book to Gu Dongchen and laughed. "Take this and print it a lot, hee. Devil-subduing college is going to die from losses this time." Gu Dongchen anxiously opened the book, and upon seeing Huang Jintian's handwriting, he confirmed that it was Huang Jintian's own hand. Seeing the simple and easy-to-understand training methods, Gu Dongchen's face revealed a smile. This old madman is truly worthy of being an old madman. These devil-subduing college fellows are going to cry now. Gu Dongchen laughed. Chen Xiang said, "Devil-subduing college isn't just that the G-Ro D child is more difficult to deal with, right?" Gu Dongchen's smile disappeared and he kept the book properly. Zhuozhenshuan and Manfutian, these two prink. 1. P.A.L.S. are powerful, but they are not ambitious. The G.O.D. child's talent is indeed not bad, but his strength is still limited. I feel that there is an even more powerful hand behind the G.O.D. child wanting to take over this mortal martial realm. I think he might appear at the beginning of great war between three realms. Regarding the battles between the powers, Chen Xiang did not want to partake .I.P.8, nor was it up to him to partake .I.P.8. However, he could take advantage of it or plunder it while it was still hot. All he needed to do was to learn the demon-subduing arts, master the way to refine Earth-grade low-rank Dan, and prepare to compete with Elder Dan. Regarding the battles between the powers, Chen Xiang did not want to partake 1P8, nor was it up to him to partake 1P8. However, he could take advantage of it or plunder it while it was still hot. All he needed to do was to learn the demon-subduing arts, master the way to refine Earth-grade low-rank Dan, and prepare to compete with Elder Dan. A lad, I have already registered to partake 1P8 in the demon-subduing martial arts compet. 1 Tian. At the start, you have to watch over me. Lu Menger and Hua Xiangyu are both in closed-door cultivation now, they won't be able to watch over me. Chen Xiang warned repeatedly. At that time, if Gu Dongchen was here, the people from the devil-subduing college wouldn't dare to act recklessly, as it would allow him to display his abilities on the stage with a peace of mind. Junior Marshal Uncle, do you really have a way to register? Are you using your own name? Gu Dongchen asked in surprise. Chen Xiang should be hated to the bones by the G.O.D. child now, and he should be very strong too. Chen Xiang laughed. Of course it's using my name. If there's no other way, then I won't be your junior master, hee. I never thought that the blue blood race and the Wu family would arrive so quickly. After Yen Yenran and Lon Lon went back to report, those old fellows all felt that it was necessary to talk to Gu Dongchen face to face, so they rushed over as fast as they could. There were only 3 days left before the anti-demon martial arts compet. 1 Tian started. Chen Xiang was not interested in knowing what they discussed when they formed an alliance, so he went to the secret room to cultivate. Gu Dongchen's house was filled with more and more old people, most of them being the heads of some small powers, and this action had attracted the attention of Fire Divine Palace and Devil Subduing College. Fire Divine Palace and Devil Subduing College were stationed atop the continent of the king, and there were suddenly so many Nirvana stage gathered here. How could they not know? The first point was to let Fire Divine Palace and Devil Subduing College know that they had already started an alliance. If these Devil Subduing College and Fire Divine Palace dared to bully the small forces in their alliance, then they would definitely join forces to suppress these two foreign forces. Lien Yingxiao had also come, but his relations, Hi+P with his daughter had always been good, so once Gu Dongchen opened his mouth, Lien Yingxiao immediately agreed. Right now, only his sister and his sister didn't express anything, it was just that the two empress of both forces were in closed-door training. Many rankers squeezed into Gu Dongchen's house to discuss about the great plan of the alliance, and from time to time, a tremble would come from below, accompanied by the faint sound of a dragon's roar, making many old fellows think that there was an imprisoned dragon below. Cough cough, it should be Chen Xiang who is training below. He should be cultivating the Taiji dragon suppressed Kung Fu, and the reason why the devil subduing method can make things difficult for us is because he has done a great service. Everyone should know this. Gu Dongchen hurriedly explained. He never thought that Chen Xiang would cause such a commotion while cultivating. He was very curious about what kind of martial arts Chen Xiang was cultivating. Lien Yingxiao nodded and said, I had long heard that not long after he entered the Devil Subduing College, he had learnt the 10th floor of the Devil Subduing method. Being able to obtain this simplified version of the Devil Subduing method now is equivalent to SLA's Hi+ing the Devil Subduing College in the face. This simple training version of the Devil Subduing method was written by that crazy old man. Gu Dongchen laughed, causing the bodies of many old fellows to tremble. Although Huang Jintian had been imprisoned in the Forbidden Grounds for many years, the shadow he had left on the experts had always been there. The simplified version of the Devil Subduing method had already been made available to each of the Alliance's great leaders to copy and then teach it to their core disciples. It wouldn't be long before Devil Subduing College would know about this news. 3 days pass, said quickly, and Chen Xiang came out of the secret room. When he saw him, Gu Dongchen sighed. Junior Master, what martial arts did you cultivate? Make it look like there's a dragon under the house. Chen Xiang laughed. This technique is called Dragon Subduing Returning Essence. I can already master it now, but if I use it now, it will consume half of my innate qi. Gu Dongchen cried out in alarm. I told you that Master used this move before, and it was indeed very powerful, but he said that he only mastered it when he was still in Nirvana stage. I didn't think that you would be able to master it now. Let's go. Today is the first day of the Fighting Demon Martial Arts Compet. 1 Tian. Let's go and see what kind of powerful people are partic. 1p aiding. Chen Xiang shrugged and said. Just like this, Chen Xiang brought Gu Dongchen and walked towards the Devil Subduing College. Furthermore, Chen Xiang didn't need to disguise himself anymore, because Gu Dongchen was right behind him. As long as they weren't stupid enough to pinch the door, they wouldn't be stupid enough to go and get Chen Xiang's head in front of Super Martial School. Chen Xiang could guess that the stronger partic. 1p ants of the Demon Subduing Martial Arts Tournament should be those from the Devil Subduing College S or those from the Fire Divine Palace S. After all, they possessed extremely rich resources and went to the Vain Martial Cultivators S from the other continent. After arriving at the Devil Subduing College, Chen Xiang understood the process of the martial arts compet. 1 Tian. From the very beginning, the preliminaries were divided into 4 groups by drawing lots, and then, through the elimination stage, each group would decide on the strongest person and then enter the final round. It looks like I have to play a lot of matches, and it's even going on day and night. If I meet a strong guy in the group compet. 1. Tian, it'll definitely be very difficult. Chen Xiang muttered as he looked at the rules. Junior Marshal Uncle, the feeling of being together with you isn't good at all. Other people view us as a scourge and view us from afar. Gu Dongchen said in a low voice. Chen Xiang looked around and laughed. A lad, you are the leader, they are afraid of you. The aura emitted from Gu Dongchen's body indeed made many people feel an inexplicable pressure and fear. There were 4 contest ring S in Devil Subduing College. In order to make the compet 1. Tian more relaxed, Chen Xiang had to leave this place, which made it much easier for many people. After drawing lots, Chen Xiang was A.S. signed to the 3rd group. What gave him a headache was that he was actually in the same group as Lan Lan. She was currently together with Yan Yanran. That cute little face was squeezed into a bitter melon as she pouted her lips and looked at Chen Xiang with an incomparably resentful gaze. Even though she wanted to compete with Chen Xiang again, it was within the group stages. Alas, poor child, I'm sorry. Chen Xiang shook his head and sighed, then walked over. There were many people in the crowd who were complaining, especially those who were in the same group as Chen Xiang. They all felt a lot of pressure, but there were only 4 groups. What a coincidence, Tai Ming from Fire Divine Palace is in the 4th group, so the group will definitely be much easier to handle. It seems like the 2nd group does not have any famous experts either. Chen Xiang walked towards Lan Lan as he obtained some information from the crowd. Seeing Chen Xiang coming over, Lan Lan snorted a little angrily. Seeing Chen Xiang coming over, Lan Lan snorted a little angrily. Don't be complacent, I won't be beaten up by you again. Lan Lan raised her fist and shouted. The compet 1. Tian quickly started. The 4 contest ring S started to get excited and many people were watching from below. Those who dared to register were all people with good foundations, and with this, many people were able to broaden their horizons. Once they failed, they would be eliminated. Thus, everyone was using their full strength. Only by winning could they reach the end. Every round would have many matches, and every round would have half the party. 1 P ants eliminated. After each round was over, there would be lots drawn to determine one's opponent. Very quickly, the first round had ended. Chen Xiang had easily defeated the person who was competing with him, but he had not met Lan Lan yet. During the second round of lot drawing, Lan Lan came to Chen Xiang's side with a depressed face. "Scoundrel, I'm in trouble," Lan Lan said worriedly. "What's going on?" Chen Xiang and Lan Lan could be considered friends. The last time they were at Martial Contest of the King, they had a very good cooperation. "I'm soon going to compete with someone called Mo Huan. This guy called Mo Huan is extremely ruthless. You saw it just now, it was that guy who cut other people's hands and feet into pieces the moment he attacks." Lan Lan glanced at a black-clothed man in the distance. This man's face was ashen, and he looked very gloomy. His dead gray eyes had no light, making him seem very frightening. This man exuded an evil aura, and seemed to be not to be trifled with. Just now, when he made his move, he released a terrifying aura that turned into countless blades, slicing a person's limbs into pieces. The martial arts this guy cultivates are definitely some extremely vicious demonic art. I am still unable to see through them, but they are indeed very strong. You shouldn't force yourself. Chen Xiang looked at the black-clothed man. Lan Lan shook his head. Yanran did not cower in the battle with W.A.N.G. Xingren, so it is even more impossible for me to cower. What? She and W.A.N.G. Xingren? Chen Xiang was shocked. He looked at the list of public signs, and indeed saw the names of Yanran and W.A.N.G. Xingren connected together. You guys are really unlucky. Chen Xiang curled his lips and said, "Don't worry, as long as you don't die and your limbs are chopped off, I will have ways to help you recover." Lan Lan revealed a sweet smile. "I knew Big Brother Chen Xiang was very strong. If I lose to that Mo Huan brat, you have to avenge me. Don't worry, my goal is first. I will take revenge for you. Chen Xiang said casually. You young and pretentious old granny, you must not die, otherwise you won't see me taking revenge for you. TSK, don't look down on others. Lon Lon rolled his eyes at Chen Xiang, then walked towards the contest ring. This was the first time Chen Xiang had seen someone with this surname. He searched the crowd, and very quickly found someone who looked similar to Mo Huan, who was also dressed in black, with a face and eyes that were deathly gray like a dead person. However, his entire body emitted a biting cold and powerful demonic aura, causing the beauty to dare to approach him. People of the demon world, why are they here? Bai Yu said in a deep voice, among the 5 surnames in the demon world, the devil is ranked first. If there is only one here, it might be a coincidence. Why would someone from the demon realm appear here? And he was very strong. Chen Xiang could not help but worry for Lon Lon. Little naughty dragon, watch this little girl carefully later. Try your best to not let her be cut into pieces. Chen Xiang warned as he approached the contest ring. Lon Lon and Mo Huan had already gone up on stage. Mo Huan's eyes suddenly turned black, looking extremely evil. The sword-handled demon claw is a pretty good devil art in the demon world. Devil cultivator with the surname of demon have very high statuses. How did they manage to get here? Do they have a way to open up a passage? Bai Yu was extremely suspicious. Begin. When the compet 1. Tian had begun, everyone had been watching with bated breath, because most of the techniques that Mo Huan used just now were seen with their own eyes, and now, Mo Huan's opponent was a beautiful young lady. They wanted to see, would Lon Lon also be torn to shreds by the terrifying supreme force? After Mo Huan's claws started to dance in the air, they released waves after waves of white supreme force that was visible to the naked eye, attacking Lon Lan's legs and arms. Lon Lon was extremely fast. In that moment of life and death, she had dodged and suddenly disappeared. This was an ability that Lon Lan's martial spirit bestowed to her, able to make her body invisible and not release any chi, but able to have her defensive and offensive abilities. At that time, Chen Xiang could only identify her position after seeing her heart. Otherwise, he would have been abused badly by her. Even now, when Chen Xiang used his powerful divine sense, he still could not sense Lon Lan's position, and Long Shui did the same. I saw it. This girl really made me worry for nothing. Using the heart-piercing demon eye, Chen Xiang saw that Lon Lan's beating heart was approaching Mo Huan. Boom! A blue light exploded out, and the invisible Lon Lon fiercely punched Mo Huan in the dantian, using the innate chi. After hitting the dantian, he immediately went behind Mo Huan and viciously punched the back of Mo Huan's head, releasing another wave of blue light that caused Mo Huan's eyes to SHI+NE with stars. When Lon Lon played Een, his scalp would go numb. Boring! Mo Huan bellowed, a burst of black chi appeared beneath his feet, the black chi formed a vortex, suddenly becoming very large. It started to spin frantically, and Chen Xiang saw that the hidden Lon Lon was actually being sucked in quickly. Demonic Domain. This is the name given to you by the demonic techniques that I said down to you. However, cultivating this kind of demonic technique requires you to take an extreme route. Once he releases this domain, everything within the domain will be absorbed by him, and he will also be able to sense it. Bai Yu said. Just as Bai Yu had said, Mo Huan had sensed Lon Lan's presence. Using the sword Chi Demon Claw, he frantically waved it around, releasing sword-like claw auras that slashed, stabbed, and cut towards Lon Lon. Lon Lon cried out, her body flickered with a blue light, revealing her body, and was knocked flying by the countless amount of supreme force, blood flowing from her mouth, as she fell into the contest ring. Chen Xiang hurried over. Lon Lan's face was pale white, and only suffered from internal injuries. It was not serious at all. Chen Xiang was not stingy with his pills, and gave Lon Lon a better recovery pill. Chen Xiang, when there's a chance, I will search through Mo Huan's memories later to see what purpose they have coming here, and how exactly they came here. Bai Yu said. Lon Lon stood up and patted off the dust on her body. Although she did not receive any serious injuries, she was still unhappy, but she could not say anything. Lon Lon stood up and patted off the dust on her body. Although she did not receive any serious injuries, she was still unhappy, but she could not say anything. It was at this moment that an angry voice sounded out from the group of contest ring. "BITC. You actually dare to ruin my appearance." Chen Xiang and Lon Lon anxiously looked over, because it was Wang Xingren's voice, only to see 4 additional scratches on Wang Xingren's white face. One look was enough to tell that it was caused by Yan Yanran's cat's claw art. The clothes on Yan Yanran's body became a little tattered, and there was blood at the corner of her mouth. She had a very unique kind of flexibility that allowed her to resist even if she were to face an extremely violent attack. Chen Xiang and Lon Lon anxiously walked over. Yan Yanran's fight with Wang Xingren had also attracted many people's attention, especially the female students below. They kept scolding Yan Yanran, because Yan Yanran's attacks were extremely sharp and nimble. His body had a very strong defensive ability. He was actually able to resist the God child who was blown up in the sky for a long time. Frowning that pretty boy and beating him up into a big flowery cat, he is just a swindler. What dogs? HI plus TG, OD, he is simply a self-righteous idiot. And here I thought that no matter how strong he is, it's still someone else who has ruined my reputation. Someone suddenly shouted. Everyone immediately looked towards Chen Xiang, because only a fellow like Chen Xiang, who didn't care about his life, would dare to go against Wang Xingren. This made many students from the devil-subduing college glared at Chen Xiang, especially those girls, who looked at him and scolded him incessantly. However, Chen Xiang felt that it was unfair, because that wasn't what he had said. Now that he had provoked Wang Xingren and made him angry, Yan Yanran was the one who was out of luck. The last time Chen Xiang melted a bone in one of his arms, he was able to recover so quickly. Blasphemous! You are courting death. A man came in front of Chen Xiang and was about to attack. Lon Lon suddenly asked, "How did you know he was the God child? Does he have any proof that he is the son of God?" This question rendered many of the supporters of Wang Xingren speechless. Other people believed that Wang Xingren was the God child because he held a very high status within the devil-subduing college, and they also believed that he was able to command a few elders. Wang Xingren also claimed that he was the God child, and the elders of the devil-subduing college also said the same, but this did not mean that Wang Xingren was the God child. At least my big brother Chen Xiang wouldn't be so weak. Does that mean my big brother Chen Xiang is also a divine son? What kind of a good fiend God body refining art was this? My big brother Chen Xiang can still learn the devil-subduing method S to the 10th floor. Is your God child okay? Lon Lon held on to Chen Xiang's arm as he ridiculed. At this time, Tai Ming from the Fire Divine Palace chuckled. All these so-called God children are just bragging. Tai Ming, you. Wang Xingren was furious, but he endured it and stared angrily at Yan Yanran. You dare to hurt me, I'll definitely make you pay the price. Ever since Chen Xiang appeared, Wang Xingren suffered setbacks everywhere, causing his originally aloof attitude as a king to completely disappear. Those people who supported Wang Xingren didn't say anything. Looking at contest ring, they hoped that Wang Xingren could use a powerful martial arts to defeat him. The golden innate chi was like a flame that coiled around his body, condensing an incomparably terrifying energy. This made Chen Xiang a bit worried. If this angered G. Shengren, it would undoubtedly harm him. Devil-suppressing fist. Chen Xiang was startled. This kind of fist technique was very powerful. He had exchanged a punch with G. Shengren last time. You have nowhere to run. Shengren bellowed. She punched the air. A burst of gold chi turned into a gold light that flew out, condensing into a fist that Yenran immediately dodged, and at the same time, the golden fist brushed by her body, suddenly turning a corner and ruthlessly SMAs. Hi+ing onto Yenran's body. Yenran shouted out, her entire body ignited with a gold flame, spitting out a mouthful of blood, but upon contact with her blood, it instantly ignited with a gold flame. Chen Xiang flew up and caught Yenran, who had fallen out of the contest ring, and immediately absorbed the flames on her body. Shengren was shocked because he knew that the golden flames were extremely difficult to deal with and would not be easily dealt with. She's dead for sure. This is what happens when she fights against me. Shengren said coldly. Chen Xiang coldly stared at him, and said, You are not worthy of being that so-called God child, I will prove it. He took out a pill, and the dense smell of the pill immediately made everyone relaxed and happy. An elder in charge of watching the compet. 1. Tian shouted, Relive Dan. Chen Xiang placed the relive Dan into Yenran's mouth for her to swallow, and her soft face quickly recovered some color. Now everyone knew that Chen Xiang possessed a relive Dan, and it was also not a small number of things, to actually be able to casually feed it to a woman. Anyone who was familiar with Chen Xiang knew that there was a feud between Chen Xiang and the Beast Martial School, but to actually use such an expensive relive Dan to save a Beast Martial School's woman was incomprehensible. Looking at the relive Dan, Shengren trembled in anger. If this was the Heaven Realm, he would definitely not be offered such a high reward, and it was because Chen Xiang had used the relive Dan to place a bounty on his head, which caused him to not dare to leave the devil-subduing college, as there were many other old people who were in urgent need of the relive Dan who were after him. Chen Xiang also didn't know why the devil-suppressing divine palace would allow Shengren to do as he pleased, to grasp such a great power. Could it be that Shengren was really the God child? Would he really be able to take over the devil-suppressing divine palace in the future? To inherit the legacy of the devil-suppressing heavenly venerable? After Yenran ate the relive Dan, he quickly recovered. This pill had the effect of resurrecting the dead, and many people had personally seen it today, because it was usually eaten by Nirvana Stage S during their tribulation. Along the way, Chen Xiang did not meet any strong opponent. All the way to the 8th round, which was also the last match because there were only 2 people in his group, and himself, amongst the compet. 1 Tians in the anti-demon martial arts compet. 1. Tian, the strongest one, could not exceed the peak of the 100 refining realm, so there would be no Nirvana stage. The experts here gradually surfaced, which was just as Chen Xiang had predicted, just that they were more powerful than the people in the demon world. Chen Xiang finally found an opponent with a similar strength, and it was even within the group stages. This was very interesting and caused everyone to be excited. On the contrary, he was slightly excited. Of course, the most important thing for him to do now was to find an opportunity to search through this Mo Huan's memories. If they could learn about the preparations from the demon realm, it would be a great harvest for their alliance. It was just that when he got on the stage, Mo Huan's eyes were still dark, some black chi flowed out from the whites of his eyes, making him look extremely terrifying. It was just that when he got on the stage, Mo Huan's eyes were still dark, some black chi flowed out from the whites of his eyes, making him look extremely terrifying. Begin. In the beginning of the match, Mo Huan and Chen Xiang attacked at the same time, but Mo Huan's speed was faster than Chen Xiang's. Just as Chen Xiang punched out, Mo Huan's short, white fingernail had already slashed across Chen Xiang's throat, leaving behind a trail of white light. Mo Huan's attack was faster than Chen Xiang's, but Chen Xiang's reaction was not slow either, as he dodged it with his head raised up. Although he had a strong body and the protection of the profound wood diamond armor, if he was struck by the powerful astral energy, he would still be affected. The sharp nails on Mo Huan's hands were like 10 short swords, containing a strong gale that could easily cut through some stiff things. If it was flesh and blood, a deep cut would definitely appear. It took a lot of effort to master this sword demon claw, and it is much stronger than normal weapons. If there is poison on it, then it will be even more terrifying, but for you, there shouldn't be any pressure, right? By you said. During the compet. 1. Tian, one could not use weapons, but Mo Huan's sword Chi Demon Claw was much stronger than normal weapons, so it had the advantage after the compet. 1. Tian. Furthermore, Chen Xiang also had many invisible weapons and defensive treasures on him, so he was naturally not too afraid of this kind of thing. Mo Huan's movement technique was very agile, it was also to match his pair of sharp claws, but no matter how he attacked, he could not touch Chen Xiang's body. Chen Xiang had gone through hundreds of battles, and furthermore, he had grasped many powerful divine arts, so he could always avoid Mo Huan's attacks at the most crucial moments. After failing to attack for so long, it made Mo Huan extremely frustrated. He had condensed a large amount of energy. His 5 fingers converged, the nails that looked like 5 daggers clasped together, making him look like a powerful heavy sword, SLAs. Hi+ing down at Chen Xiang's head, the white nails had even released a bit of black qi, cutting through the air, creating sounds of breaking air. A good chance. Chen Xiang was overjoyed. He actually raised his hand and slapped across. Pa pa pa. A series of explosions rang out next to everyone's ears, followed by an extremely violent tremble that caused them to be unable to stand steadily. The heaven-blasting palm combined with the devil-subduing method, against this kind of devilish aura, it had a very strong killing power. Mo Huan let out a loud roar, because the fingernails on his hand had all been shattered. It was also no wonder that when Mo Huan's immense power was focused on his fingers a moment ago, it was suddenly pushed violently by Chen Xiang and combined with the violent power of the devil-subduing method, it caused all of the energy on his fingertips to explode and even break all the meridians in his palm. Mo Huan looked at the transparent mist that was being released from Chen Xiang's palm, causing him to feel an indescribable fear. This was the devil-suppressing qi. Chen Xiang's devil-suppressing qi was different from the others were all gold, but after fusing with the devil-suppressing blood, he had become transparent. When using the devil-subduing method, coupled with the devil-suppressing qi, he possessed an extremely strong killing power towards the demonic cultivator. Just now, Mo Huan could feel the terror of that power, because the moment that power appeared, the dense devil Tao innate qi in his body began to tremble. Even if there were 10 of you, you still wouldn't be my match. Chen Xiang's body trembled, and that transparent devil-suppressing qi erupted out from his body, enveloping Mo Huan's body from all directions, as though it was a gigantic transparent hand grabbing onto Mo Huan, pressing him tightly onto the ground, causing everyone to be extremely shocked. Chen Xiang controlled the transparent devil-suppressing qi and lifted Mo Huan up. Mo Huan's entire body was wrapped in this type of energy that he was most afraid of, causing him to not be able to unleash any of the power in his body. Boom! Chen Xiang smashed his palm heavily onto Mo Huan's chest. The extremely dense devil-suppressing qi was like a surging river, violently surging into Mo Huan's body, causing Mo Huan to feel as if his body was being burnt by raging flames. His devil energy was corroding bit by bit, and his body, which was refined by the devil energy, was being bitten by thousands of bugs. Chen Xiang saw that it was about time. He was also very satisfied with the devil-suppressing chi after evolving. He then patted on Mo Huan's head and searched through the memories in his head, quickly finding them. The majority of the people who had competed with you before were crippled by you. Now I'll let you have a taste of this feeling as well. Chen Xiang's fists were like two violent streaks of white lightning as they crazily smashed against Mo Huan's body, producing a series of loud booms, while the most terrifying thing was Mo Huan's shouts. Scram! Chen Xiang struck the heaven-blasting palm above Mo Huan's abdomen, and at the same time broke all the meridians and bones in his body, fell down from the stage heavily, sinking into the ground. Before, Mo Huan's methods on the stage were bloody and brutal. As long as he fought, most of the people he fought with would have their hands and feet chopped into pieces, and now that Mo Huan had also fallen to such a state, it made many people feel relieved, as they were extremely supportive of Chen Xiang's actions. Chen Xiang had also won first place in his group, and would be partic 1p, aiding in the finals. The first group was Wang Xingren, the second group was Mo Dian, the third group was Chen Xiang, and the fourth group was Fire Divine Palace. Aside from Mo Dian, the other three were all extremely famous young rankers, especially Wang Xingren and Chen Xiang. One of them was the God child, while the other was the young Chen Xiang, who was renowned throughout the mortal martial realm. The final match would be held tomorrow. When Gu Dongchen brought Chen Xiang back, he asked curiously, "The martial arts used by those two called Mo Dian and Mo Dian are somewhat the same as the martial arts used in the devil cultivation sects, but the demonic chi is much purer. Do you know where they came from?" Chen Xiang nodded. "They are from the demon realm and have only been here for over a month." Had used the soul-absorbing devil spell to search through Mo Huan's memories and was very shocked upon hearing this news. This was because people from the demon realm were actually able to stealthily make their way here. Gu Dongchen was shocked. "Are you serious?" Chen Xiang nodded his head, and it was someone from the mortal martial realm who helped them come over, so they used a weak point in the SPAC to travel. According to the clues I gathered, when they came over, they needed a transmission array from this side to receive it, then it would fall into the continent of the king. These two are just trying to teleport. There will be more of them later on, and there might even be Nirvana stage S later on. He's preparing to make us mortal martial realm S fall into chaos before they can even begin their teleportation. Gu Dongchen's face was filled with anger as he clenched his fists, which BASTARD was it to actually collude with the people from the demon world? Chen Xiang let out a long sigh. "I think it should be the person behind the scenes. Mo Huan must have come into contact with Wang Xingren before." Gu Dongchen paced back and forth in the hall with a thoughtful expression. Doesn't Devil Subduing College have a very powerful demonic fighting technique? But now you have actually teamed up with the people of the demon world, who are also willing to do so. Could it be that they plan to divide the mortal martial realm up? Gu Dongchen said. It's very possible. When the time comes, because there are still the group of undeveloped evil demon in the demon world, it would be very difficult for the demon world to swallow the mortal martial realm. Chen Xiang said. That doesn't make sense. This God child is doing well in the heaven realm and this place, and he will definitely be going to the heaven realm in the future. What benefits does he get by colluding with the demon world? Gu Dongchen said. Seems like only Wang Xingren and the mastermind knows about this. To figure out the conspiracy behind it, Chen Xiang had already made a plan in his mind. As long as he could catch Wang Xingren, use soul-absorbing devil spell and search his memories, he would be able to figure everything out. The soul-absorbing devil spell had already been fully utilized by Chen Xiang, and could only be used in battle. Furthermore, it would not be discovered by the opponent. If discovered by him, the only thing he could do was to silence him. Tomorrow is the finals. If I can match up against W. A.N. G. Xingren, he. At this time, Chen Xiang was extremely curious about the person behind W. A.N. G. Xingren. Just what kind of scheme was this? You can kill people in the martial compet. 1. Tian, Junior Martial Uncle, you can't be thinking of killing W. A.N. G. Xingren, right? You better not do such a thing. If the situation comes up, if you kill W. A.N. G. Xingren, Devil Subduing College will definitely not let you go. Gu Dongchen was extremely worried for Chen Xiang, as Chen Xiang had not yet become the Devil Subduing College's #1 enemy. The stronger old fellows of the Devil Subduing College all did not take action, because if they did, Chen Xiang would not dare to appear near the Devil Subduing College. I know what I'm doing. See what's going on. Chen Xiang yawned and returned to his room. He had gotten a lot of memories from Mo Huan previously, and they all had to do with the Devil Realm. I never thought that the demon world would have so many worlds, and right now, I've already determined which 2 demon worlds are connected to the mortal martial realm. Chen Xiang shook his head and sighed. The world of the devils that is connected to the mortal Kung Fu realm is very strong and should be around the same as the mortal martial realm. Su Meiyao said, "Don't be so pessimistic. When the time comes, there will only be one way into the mortal martial realm. The demon and demon realms will have to come through this way, and the mortal martial realm just need to gather their forces and defend that place. If they can't, the mortal martial realm will definitely be annihilated." Before the sky brightened, Chen Xiang had already arrived at the compet. 1. Tian grounds inside the Devil Subduing College, but there were many people who had arrived early enough to occupy a good seat and watch. The majority of the spectators were all students of the Devil Subduing College or disciples of some large sections. Others were not allowed to enter. "Good morning, big brother Chen Xiang." Lan Lan saw Chen Xiang leaning on a pillar alone, shouted from afar, held Yen Yenran's hand and ran over. "Sister Lan, you have to keep your chest steady when you run in the future. Look." Chen Xiang swept his eyes across his surroundings. When Lan Lan ran over just now, his chest was surging with energy and attracted the attention of many people. "Scoundrel, he greeted you with good intentions, yet you're still so bad." Lan Lan blushed slightly as she mumbled to herself. Chen Xiang patted her head and smiled. "Have you recovered fully from yesterday's injuries? It's a pity that you didn't see Mo Huan being beaten up by me." With that, he looked at Yen Yenran, who had a gentle and charming smile. "Chen Xiang, you aren't regretting eating that relived Dan for me, right? If you want to come back, I really don't know how to return it." Yen Yenran laughed. Chen Xiang laughed. "Don't worry, I won't let you repay me with your body." "I don't believe you." "Big brother scoundrel, you must be thinking the same thing." Lan Lan muttered. "Is there anything wrong with your body now?" Chen Xiang asked seriously. He was not joking. "I'm fully recovered. I never thought that I would be able to eat this relived Dan in my lifetime. Not only will it help me heal my injuries, it will also bring me great benefits from cultivation." "Thank you," Yen Yenran said sincerely. "It's good that you're fine. In the future, don't try to be brave when you meet a guy like W. A.N. G. Xingren. Right now, the most important thing is the great war between 3 realms." Chen Xiang sighed. Yen Yenran and Lan Lan both nodded. "Oh right, I just established a sect. This is a hidden sect, and I need some people to join. I think you guys are more suited. And this must be kept a secret, and not let those old guys know." Chen Xiang's eyes lit up as he whispered. Without even thinking about it, Yen Yenran patted Chen Xiang's shoulders and laughed. "No problem. It's definitely not bad to follow a rich person like you." Lan Lan laughed. "Big brother scoundrel, so that means you're the boss now?" "Of course. At the very least, I need to provide you with some pills. If I'm not the boss, Could it be that I'm going to provide you with some? Chen Xiang smiled and rubbed Lan Lan's head. He really liked this naughty and cute girl who was like a blue elf. Although she was much older than him because she was young and looked like a girl, Chen Xiang treated her like his little sister. All right, I'll join as well. Lan Lan nodded in agreement. Although they hadn't known each other for very long, they trusted each other very much. Furthermore, the forces they were in had already allied with each other. Brother scoundrel, what's the name of your sect? Lan Lan suddenly asked, as Yen Yenran was extremely curious about the matter. Although Lan Lan and Yen Yenran both had their own powers, they could still join Chen Xiang's hidden sects because they were friends with him. For example, Chen Xiang could also be considered as a part of the Dan Fragrance Pure Land. This is called Dragon Subduing School. Chen Xiang suddenly thought of one. So you're saying, in the future, you're developing to specifically kill dragons? This was a sect that was fighting against dragons. But I like it. It's domineering enough. Lan Lan said somewhat excitedly. Chen Xiang laughed. You don't have to kill a dragon. The majority of dragon-subduing martial arts are created by a dragon. It only means that the dragon-slaying power of the dragon is in the martial arts, a dragon that can live a life of prosperity. And this is also true for Dragon Subduing School. They have the power to fight against dragons. Chen Xiang had already killed a dragon, and it was even a considerably strong boa dragon, so of course he had the money to take this name. On the other hand, he had already subdued the Blee white dragon girl, Long Shui. How many are there now? Yen Yenran caressed the hair on his forehead and asked casually. A naturally born seductive woman like Yen Yenran would always reveal a seductive attitude when she wasn't paying attention, but Chen Xiang had stopped doing this long ago. We can be considered to have joined. There should be 3 of us. Chen Xiang scratched the back of his head and laughed awkwardly. What? Lan Lan and Yen Yenran asked at the same time. Dragon Subduing School is a name that I have just picked. If there are more people in the future, you can consider yourselves elders. Chen Xiang laughed.